All right. We have the morning. We have the coffee. It takes the coffee and it puts it on its skin. I will bathe in the coffee. I'm feeling better. Thank you for asking. I think honestly the worst was like the first day, a little bit the second day. I'm a little stuffy this morning, but I think I managed to sleep it off. I think, knock on wood. That first day I was feeling shitty. I did a short stream. I did like 3 hours, and it was like 8:30 in the morning. I laid down. I slept for like 3 hours, and then I took another nap that day. I think that was Friday, Saturday maybe. That was Saturday. And then yesterday was Sunday. I woke up still feeling a little funky. I can't remember the timeline. First day I slept a whole bunch. Second day I slept a whole bunch. Last night I slept pretty good. I slept about 7 hours last night. 6, 7 hours. Uninterrupted. I'm feeling much better this morning. Still funky in the nose, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, it rhymed. What's up, Greg? Yeah, I need more coffee. I haven't finished my first cup. All right. Inventory is reasonably clean. He left us some goodies in the underground storage. I forgot to pull this chat out. Lunchtime already? What's up, Dribrum? I haven't got around to that, Kiernan, but I would assume that's what you do with them because some of them can't be sold. So I would assume, and if you've like if they're recipes in particular, if you've already like used them, I would say you could maybe throw them away. Speaking of man flu, there's that stiffly man. Still a little stuffy, but I do think I'm fingers crossed. I think I got past the coughing and everything else. Did I just get a new sword? Is it a cool enough sword to replace the one I have? Dude, that does look pretty cool. Gray says you could also give them as gifts. What is that? Oh, baby, that comes out of the box with 3 things already on it. 4+ damage to mighty foes, attack speed, critical rate. None of those things I care for. However, I will say, out of the gate, I like the look of that more than mine. The problem is the resource it takes to get it up to where mine is at. They did give me those refinement tool thingies. What are they called? Tokens of refinement? I might have to go try that really quickly. See what it looks like.
master of the anvil stands before you.
Man, that's awfully close to what I have. I'm almost tempted to switch to it just for the look of it.
I want to hear all about what my work has seen out there.
If I can get the resources to upgrade that, I'm gonna probably switch all my stuff over to that sword because it looks way cooler. I don't know, I want to see the graphic of it. How do I... Guess I could just equip it. I mean, just the look of it is way cooler. God, this is so finicky right here. With the wolf head and everything. God, the lighting here sucks for this. I wanted to take a better look at that. I definitely want to switch to that sword, just for the look of it. However, I need more. I need some more goodies on it. I need some more goodies on it for sure. Because my good old Sword of the Wolf, which has served me very well until this point. Alright. Yeah, but you can only use them one time. Well, I mean, excuse me, you can only use them up to rank 4 is what I meant to say. Yeah, it was a cool looking sword. Exactly. How am I liking the game? You can go check out my reviews over on YouTube. What's up, Napier? Mighty foes are bosses. Yeah, but see, to me, like 4% damage doesn't mean that much on a one-handed weapon. Now, if that was on a two-handed weapon, that could be a little more potent. But I'm only using one-handed weapons. 4% damage is that much. I would prefer to have, like, my Crow's Pursuit and Wind Slash, because those are doing, like, effects. Napier says, doing my first day back to work since I broke my ankle. Nice. Well, at least you're recovered enough to be able to get out and about and do things again. It sucks being laid up. Like, when I tore my leg, it's been almost 2 years. May will be 2 years. My sister-in-law we were actually talking about it the other day because she was over here asking about the place where I went and got my physical therapy done. Because it was gnarly. Like, I ripped the abductor. So the abductor, for those of you who don't know, I'll stand up and show you this a little bit if I can. So the abductor is like, you're not gonna be able to see it. It's down in here, like right in here. So up against your nads, man. On the inside of your thigh. And I was rescuing one of my cats, and I was barefoot, stepped in a mud puddle. She had just had surgery, and she had her bandages off, and she was out of her bandages for the first time, but still in stitches. And she went outside and like laid in a mud puddle and like got mud on her stitches. And I was like, no, you're gonna get an infection. So I like ran outside, grabbed her, and then ran back in to clean her. And when I ran back in the house, we have painted concrete in the kitchen area where you come in from the outside, and we have like a little concrete curb there, and I came in from the outside, and my wet foot hit the painted concrete and went whoop, and I had her in my arms, and I like did the splits and fell back and like slammed into the back door and landed flat on my tailbone and with the splits like that, and like dragged my left leg on top of the concrete curb. So I gashed open the top of my foot on the left hand side. If you go back on my streams like 2 years ago, I had a big old bandage around my foot and I was sitting up on top of the chair with my foot up on the desk, and that tore the tendons, ligaments, and some of the nerve in the inside of my abductor. And it was so bad. The day I went to the hospital I was sore, but I went to go take a shower, and I reached up to put the towel up over the towel bar, and when I reached up, everything went haywire, and I lost control of my leg, and I like fell in the shower. This is about 2 weeks after. I fell in the shower, and my left leg was like uncontrollably twitching, and then it carried up my left hand side, and my left arm was twitching, and my whole body like curled up to the left. And dude, it felt like someone was jamming a hot iron in my leg right up against my left testicle. Not a fun feeling. So I got rushed to the hospital. Chris rushed me to the hospital. We got a emergency trip to the hospital that day. They did a bunch of x-rays on me, and that was the journey of that was May. It was not fun. That was like a year and a half of not being able to walk at all, not to be able to run. I couldn't do any exercises. I've put on over 30 pounds, which is why this year I finally finished my physical therapy around September. I think it was September last year. August or September of last year was when I finished my physical therapy. And I was finally given permission to go start doing exercises again. And so I just started running again like about 2 weeks ago. Like seriously, not just like I had to start off like physical therapy, and then when I first started trying to get back out again, I would take walks down to the park, down to the river, and there's a basketball court, and I would do like kind of like not even run back sprints, but I would like kind of like trot to the end of the basketball court and then come back. And when I started, I was only able to do that like 3 times, and then it was 5 times, and then it was 7 times, and now I'm able to run. There's a distance of the river where they have a downtown where it's all sidewalks and stuff, and I can do. Yesterday I just did 2 rounds, meaning I went down once, back once, down once, back once. Before my injury, I was doing that 10 times, which is about 5 kilometers. Before my injury, and I am just now to the point where I can do 2. And even after 2, like this morning, my ankle is a little mad, and so is my knee and my. So yeah, it was definitely the worst pain I've gone through physically. Oh yeah, it was bad. I went to the hospital 3 times for I think it was 3 times or maybe 4 times. I would have these like I'd be going for a walk trying to stretch it out, and I would get a nerve attack. And the worst was we had to go to the city one time, which is 3 hours away, to get looked at by a specialist before I could start my physical therapy. And when I went to the hospital up there, the doctor literally laid me out on a gurney with his assistant, and took a frickin' like 6-inch needle with a big old syringe full of propofol, I think is what it's called, and like others. It was anti-inflammatories mixed with the I think it's called propofol, which is like what they do to like when you have a surgery or something to like numb the pain and stuff. And he literally laid me out on the gurney, and he had his assistant hold me up against the wall, hold my legs in place and hold me up against the wall while he held me down on my shoulders like, this is gonna hurt. And then he put the needle right inside my leg up against my left testicle and injected that whole syringe full of stuff in me. I didn't feel anything for like 3 days. I mean, it numbed me, but that was the worst. That was horrible. Like when he was putting that needle in, it was like, oh my god, I don't like this. This sucks. So I am uh, yeah, I'm a lot better now, but yeah, being laid up sucks. So I feel for Napier having a broken ankle for a couple of months is no fun to be laid up because it sucks. I think the weight gain was the biggest thing for me. The pain and the weight gain because um, as you get older, it's much harder to lose the weight, and it's just bad for you all around. It's harder to walk around. Like it's just not fun. But that was definitely by far the worst injury I've ever had in my life, and the worst pain I've ever had. Um,
Hmm.
like
Serendipitous meeting.
I've broken a finger. I've squished this. I've got this elbow caught in the hydraulic arm of a tractor bucket and squished this arm and had to go to the hospital. And I had like about 6 months of nerve issues. That hurt. That was nothing. My left leg, I bent back the opposite direction and tore a bunch of ligaments when I was like 16. I've had some painful injuries, but nothing compared to like ripping the abductor tendon and ligaments and all the nerves. And it's because the nerve damage, you can't control it. Because then it's like starts hurting, and then your leg just starts flopping around, and you can't do anything about it because your leg is just like the nerves are firing off, and you can't control that shit. It's not fun. Cycling is a lot better after 50 for running, correct. The doctor told me I'm okay to it's not a bad idea to keep running like once a week, twice a week at most, just to maintain movement. But he told me that cycling and a swimming
Quit
pool are the best
eyeballing me.
options for me now that I'm getting older.
Hail,
Um,
stranger.
so I really like the rowing machine. I like the rowing machine. So we've been talking. One of the reasons that we put the rooftop expansion on the house was to put a rooftop garden up there, but also so that I could put gym equipment up on top of the roof. So that's one of the things we're in the active process of is getting gym equipment up to the roof over the course of this year so that I have an upstairs area to do stuff. The problem is like downstairs, we have no space in this house. So I really can't, I can't put anything in here. I might be able to, yeah, there's a theoretically I could put a rowing machine back here, but there's just no space. Um, It would be great if the area where my bed is in this office, if I could put a rowing machine right there. But the problem is this is the only AC room in the house, so we keep that in here for when it's really hot because we sleep in here. Yeah, I love the rowing machine emulator. So we'll see. The good news is I feel better. Every day I feel better. I'm probably 95% these days. 95%. Depends on the day. I had a bad day 2 months ago where I slept wrong and I woke up and that nerve
A
got
fine
pinched
day to
somehow.
meet.
And I had a really bad day about 2 months ago where everything was hurting. Um,
Good
and I
day.
couldn't really walk more than or just around the house. I might have to look into one that folds, yeah, emulator. I got a buddy of mine that had one that you could slide under the bed. And so he would slide it under the bed and then pull it out when he wanted to use it. I might be able to do one like that if I put
Good
it out
day.
in the living room. The exercise bike is what I really want to get, but I have no space to put an exercise bike right now unless I put it up on the roof. Because our house is full. Like, our house is full of stuff. Like, we have no space anywhere. Um, so, tis what it is. Life after 45, you got to get used to more or less pain. Pretty much. You just learn how to manage things. Welcome to old age, kids. This is the geriatric stream.
You are a bad person.
You are a bad little girl for
Greetings.
calling me a bad person.
Well, fuck you.
Hey, fuck you. I made it all the way to my 40s before I had a debilitating injury. I don't consider that too bad. Especially because I grew up on a ranch and worked construction. Like, I saw guys. I think the worst thing I ever saw was I saw a guy like take half his hand and I don't. For those of you who don't know construction, you might not know what this, but it's called a circular saw. You've probably seen them on TV shows or in movies or home improvement shows, but you hold it here. It's got a blade on it in front, and you use it to cut wood, and you cut pieces of wood, right? So it's not a big thing. It's maybe that big. Probably weighs 2-3 kilos, but it's got a blade on it, and you use it, and it has a guard. There's a guard on the blade that when you push it against a piece of wood, the guard opens up and exposes the blade so that you can cut the wood. However, what a lot of dudes in construction will do is they'll take a piece of wire and they'll open the guard and tie the guard in an open position because it's quicker and easier to cut the wood at a quicker pace if you have the guard open. And a lot of construction workers are getting paid based on how quickly they can work. They're not paid per the hour, they're paid per square foot. And so, or per project, and so they want to work quickly. And I saw a dude who had tied his guard open and he was cutting 2x4s. And what he was doing was he was literally one-handing. He would have a 2x4 in one hand like this, right? And he would have it and he would just run and he was just ripping 2x4s down. Because he was cutting like 2-foot sections. He was just wonk, wonk, wonk. And he was holding the 2x4 and running the saw across it. And the blade got caught and wrenched it out of his hand. And he went whomp with the saw. And he came stumbling out of the garage. I've never heard a human being make that noise before. And his hand was literally split open and just like dangling. Because he had taken the saw and it went like halfway up. Like halfway into his hand and just opened it up. And so this part, the bottom part with his fingers was just hanging there. And that's a salvageable thing. Like that's obviously going to need surgery and physical therapy and stuff. But oh yeah, it was. And I've seen guys. Table saws are one of the worst. Table saws terrify me. You'll see a guy run a piece of wood through a table saw and they won't have a push stick. And then like 2 years later, they're missing 2 fingers or 3 fingers. They're missing a thumb. Like construction workers. I've seen some dudes have some pretty messed up injuries. And the other one is farmers. Like, because you'll have a tractor and on the back of a tractor is it's called a PTO shaft. And you connect a device to the PTO shaft. And that PTO shaft rotates. And so there'll be a shaft. If you can imagine, my arm is the shaft. Usually there's a sheath on that thing. And this connects to whatever machine that you're pulling behind the tractor, right? So this thing right here is constantly rotating because it's connected to the thing on the back of the tractor, which rotates. Now, in the tractor, you have a control to turn that off, right? A lot of farmers they'll just be like, oh, I just need to do something really quick. And they'll have, it'll be something stupid that it'll be turning and they'll go out back of the tractor and they'll go to like disconnect a hose or something and they'll leave the shaft turning. And the worst is like they'll have like a coat on, or I've seen guys with a beard get like half their beard ripped off because they'll be down there like pulling a hose out and the beard will get caught in the shaft and it just yanks their head down, and if you're not careful that can like rip your head off, and they'll like quickly yank back and it just rips half their beard's gone. Or I've seen guys get their hair ripped out, but I've seen guys lose an arm. I haven't seen the act of losing an arm, but I've seen guys after who are like missing a hand and half their arm because they were stupid and they didn't follow the safety rules. And get caught in the shaft. You just need to first and foremost turn off the PTO. Better yet, turn off the tractor before you go outside and work on things.
Quit eyeballing me.
Emulator says, I remember the safety talk in shop class where the teacher would toss a piece of wood on the table saw and launch the wood against the wall at warp speed. Oh yeah, man. Table saws are gnarly. Jacko says I broke my collarbone when I was under 20s. That was painful. Oh yeah, I
Sorry,
bet.
you want something?
I had an uncle who was the same age as me who we used to go skateboarding a lot when we were kids. I think we were probably 15, 16. He's a year older than me. He's my dad's youngest brother, the accident baby. And we were 15, 16, and we were skateboarding, and we were going down this hill on an asphalt backcountry road in the middle of Missouri. And we were going down the road, which we shouldn't have been doing in the first place because it's a backwoods highway, but still no traffic. But it's anyway, asphalt. And we were going down, and he had no shirt on, and he had his nipples pierced. And we were going down the hill, and by the way, his parents did not. My grandparents did not know he had his nipples pierced. He did them himself. We were 15 to 16. He was stupid. And so he had like safety pins in his nipples or something. I don't remember exactly. But we were going down the hill, and he fell. He had to go to the hospital. Like he like road rashed. He was going so fast, and he fell off the skateboard, and he just like slid down the road like 15 feet on top of the asphalt, and it like ripped. It like tore up his nipple and like his whole side and the top of his like thigh down to his knee. He just had road rash all the way down to his knee, and he had to go to the hospital and was like wound up in bandages for like 2 months.
Hey?
Ewok says I work with lasers and burn myself a lot. One time I cut through my finger with a small laser hole, got an infection, but there was a risk of losing a small part of my finger. Damn. No more laser pointers for me, sir. Pass.
I'm sorry. Have we met?
Remember, kids, safety tips are important.
Nice to see you.
As you know, my domain is rather vast, and it's been difficult to keep watch over everything of late.
Starfield is almost here,
well
DJ.
how those wretched bandits are running
First of my
wild.
daily tips for new Starfield
We've had no
users
word
went
from the
live
southern
today. We're going to be
14
doing daily
days.
tips as we prep for the PS5
I'd like you to
launch.
go and make sure that everything is in order there.
Hi.
Okay. The Crimson. Oh, that must be a boss fight. An unknown red smoke is rising from Fort Perwin. There was a mosquito in here, and I just missed it. Oh, did I ever do that? My bad. Do I have any construction workers free? I do. The question is that a boss fight that I want to do? Is that going to be a hard boss fight? I'm not really in the mood for a boss fight. Boss fight first thing in the morning. Oh, you know what I should go do? I should go down to the Porin Forest Guardians because I've been told that you can get like unlimited arrows from doing stuff down in there. I don't know what quest I need to do, so let's just start with the one I have. Right? I think maybe. Hang on, what else do I need to do here? No, I'm not doing the fucking duo match shit. Wait, what do I have over here? Oh, yeah. Hang on. I definitely want to do that first. I want to get as many gray mains as possible for missions. By the way, someone was talking earlier about how basically the tutorial for this game is the first, like, 20 hours of the game, like building your camp and stuff. I definitely think that that's legit. Because there's so much that, like, even, I think it was yesterday, we just did the ranch. And I'm 70 hours into the game. It's like the camp system just keeps going and going and going and going.
A favor I'd like to ask.
Research
Could
lady
you
gives it to you. Is that in the
visit the
town,
cabin
Gray?
we were at?
Probably need to go down there and
On the day of the ambush,
check it out.
I've got a feeling any Greymanes still living might seek it out.
We'll do that after these rumors,
Who
I
knows?
think.
There could be
And
some
for
there
everybody who
right
keeps
now,
asking me, I don't
just
remember if
waiting for
anyway.
us.
For everybody who keeps asking me, have you watched The Night of the
Even if
Seven
they're not,
Kingdoms? Chris and I
our
watched the
fallen
first 3
comrades
episodes
would
last night.
appreciate the visit. Everyone goes about their lives,
It was great.
doing their best.
We would have
to
kept
forget
watching,
that
but we were
day.
both tired, so we watched the first 3
No one so much
episodes,
as thinks of going there,
and then
let alone speaks of it.
probably gonna watch the other 3 tonight or tomorrow. Really good, really good. Ewok says, I used to laugh at Bond movies because of lasers, but now I am the Bond villain. The funny thing is I have a copy of Legends in a box somewhere, which was the anthology that Dunk was introduced in. The short story, I think, was called The Hedge Knight. It was edited by Robert Silverberg. It's got stories in there by Robert Jordan, Tad Williams, George R. R. Martin. But it's been so long ago that I don't remember anything about that short story really at all, other than the character. One of the things I really appreciate about the show, I don't mind shorter episodes. I prefer longer episodes, but I will say one of the things I appreciate about the show so far is that it's much easier for my wife to follow because there's not 5 million characters like there are in Game of Thrones or House of Dragon. However, by the time we got to episode 3, they're already starting to throw in like all these Targaryens, and Chris is like, I don't know who all these people are. I'm never gonna remember who all these people are, and it's like, yeah, just ignore it. Just focus on Dunk and Egg. Don't worry about all the other ones. You've never watched Game of Thrones, Wasteful? It's totally worth it if you've got the time. Don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't watch it. And don't believe anybody who tells you that, like, oh, the last season is so horrible, you shouldn't waste your time. You should definitely take the time. It's like Lost. It was a cultural phenomenon, much like The Sopranos or Lost. Totally worth the time. It is an amazing show. It went from being, this like show that HBO did, which didn't have that much of a budget for the first season, and then it blew up and it got a bigger and bigger budget, and it kept expanding. It's so good. And yeah, the final season is different. You can love it, you can hate it. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't take away from the fact that the show was awesome. And House of Dragon has been okay. I haven't been keeping up with that one because I just don't have enough time. The biggest issue is George R.R. Martin is never going to finish the book series. He's just never going to finish it. It's been 15 years or whatever, and he still hasn't finished the next book. And it's like, you're going to be dead, dude. You're dead. You're done. You're never going to finish it. Not only the strike for the second season, but George R.R. Martin has had a very public falling out with the showrunner for House of Dragon. Because the guy has basically pushed him out of all the production and basically told George to piss off. I'm going to do what I want with this show. I don't give a shit about you or your opinion or the characters that you've created. And so that has created a rift, and as a result, since season 2, House of Dragon doesn't have the cooperation or the support of George R.R. Martin the way that Game of Thrones did, or the way that Dunk and Egg does. So yeah. Papacito says, I love your TikTok. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Alright, we have gotten all the copper there. Best TV series? My favorite, or I should say one of my favorites. It's not my absolute favorite. One of my favorites is Battlestar Galactica, the reimagined series from the early 2000s. That is easily one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Followed by The Expanse. I love The Expanse. Babylon 5, even though the special effects suck, but Babylon 5's story is really good. The acting is phenomenal. J. Michael Straczynski did a phenomenal job of show running. I mean, he wrote I think there was a swath of 105 or 107 episodes where he wrote, directed, and was the showrunner. It's just an incredible display of creative direction from Straczynski. The follow-up show, Paladin, was really good. Jeremiah was really good. Jericho was really good. Firefly was really good. I love Deep Space Nine. Game of Thrones is phenomenal. I could go on. There's a lot of good TV shows that I like good TV. B5 was and is awesome. Yep. The only thing with B5 is if you watch it today, the special effects are so horrible that it's really hard to watch. But if you can get past the special effects, the story is, especially, and this is my favorite part, if you've ever played Mass Effect, and then you go watch Babylon 5 and you've never watched it before, you're going to be like, oh, Mass Effect is literally Babylon 5. Mass Effect is the Babylon 5 story. Which is one of the reasons Mass Effect is so good. Oh, Stargate? Yeah, the Stargate shows are great. Chris and I loved watching The Witcher. Even the new version of The Witcher we enjoyed with the new actor. But yeah, we watch a lot of TV in our house. I loved the Supernatural show. Was really fun. Arrow was good. For a long time when Chris and I were dating, that's all I did was watch TV shows when I was waiting for her to get off work. I would finish my work, I would go to the beach, work out, come back, and just watch TV shows. At one point, I remember I was following 13 different TV shows at the same time. So I was watching like literally I was watching like 6 to 8 episodes of shows every single day. This is back 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. Um, I've literally forgotten most, probably more. I've forgotten more about shows that I love than I can remember. Details are a little fuzzy. Yeah, man. Yeah, I've loved all the Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus. Every single one of those shows are awesome. Farscape, yeah. Farscape was good. I also really loved the new Dark Crystal show they did a few years back. That was phenomenal. Jim Henson usually does really cool stuff. The Henson Productions. Brian Henson has done some phenomenal stuff with the Breaking Bad, of course. Sons of Anarchy, as well as the follow-up they did with the Mayans MC. Also, I've seen a lot of good documentaries. I remember early on, Michael Palin did this food documentary called Cooked on Netflix. And it's basically, I think it's only 4 episodes. It might be 6. But basically, I think it was 4 episodes. And, like, each episode was covering, it was food from around the world and how food is prepared and the culture of food. But each episode, Silo is great, by the way. Each episode focused on an element, so earth, air, fire, water, and how food is prepared with those elements. So you have an episode that's all about cooking food with fire, an episode that's all about cooking food with water, an episode that's all about cooking food with air, and then with so it's a really, I think it's called Cooked with Michael Palin. Palin, I think is his name. That was a really cool food documentary. Westworld was great. Legion was good. There was a show. Do you guys remember that movie that Paul Bettany was in, where he plays a fallen angel? Dennis Quaid's in it. Anyway, he plays a fallen angel. Paul Bettany plays a fallen angel who's like killing demons in like a bar in the middle of nowhere in the desert. I can't remember the name of the film, but then they made a series out of that ran for 2 seasons on the Sci-Fi Channel. Like, that show and the film, I think that one was called Legion 2. Emulator. I'm thinking that was called Legion 2. But that was like a film and 2 seasons of a show that ran, which was really, really good. Like, really just a fun, tight story arc. Lost is phenomenal. Yes, I've seen Lost twice. Hang on, I'm having a blank. Obviously Star Trek Next Generation, of course, but I still prefer Deep Space Nine. Yeah, we mentioned The Expanse earlier. I was thinking about the Legion show on Sci-Fi Channel, and there was something else that I saw on the Sci-Fi Channel that was really good. I have a series on my YouTube channel, guys. I haven't updated it in a while, but I have a series called My Favorite Fantasy and Science Fiction TV Shows. Maybe I should clip this out and put this into that playlist so that I can so that it'll come back up visible to the top of the, and those of you who are interested can go back and like check out some of the shows that I've mentioned in that playlist. Sci-Fi Channel used to do some really good stuff. They really did. It's unfortunate that no longer is a big thing. I'm gonna go. Let me pull up that playlist and see if there's anything I missed. Oh, Heroes. Heroes was so good. The first early seasons of that as well. Yeah. Heroes was really good. Hang on, I'm going to my YouTube channel real quick to pull up this playlist because I don't remember what all's in that playlist now because I haven't updated that in a while. Content, playlists, shows. Aha, here we go. How do I see the episodes? Aha. Oh, Spartacus. And Chris and I just finished watching the new Spartacus House of Asher. Really, really good. And it got renewed for season 2, which is awesome. Stranger Things, of course, was great. All the Netflix Marvel shows were awesome. Like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, the original Daredevil, the Iron Fist, and then the show that they did together. Those were great. Percy Jackson, the Olympians TV show has been pretty good. 12 Monkeys TV show. Oh, the new La Femme Nikita with Maggie Q was amazing. But also the original La Femme Nikita with Peta Wilson is her name? Peta Wilson or Peter Jackson? Peta, not Peter Jackson. Peta, I think it was Peta Wilson. Anyway, both of the TV versions of La Femme Nikita have been phenomenal. But the 12 Monkeys TV show, and then Star Trek Picard, of course. I like all Trek, so all Trek from the beginning. I love all Star Wars at the beginning. Defiance on the Sci-Fi Channel. Well, you're wrong, Lithric. Iron Fist was awesome. My wife and I loved it. You're free to not like it, but you don't have the option to tell me it wasn't awesome because we loved it. I really enjoyed the Halo series as well. The 3 Body Problem that Netflix has done was really cool the first season, and they're filming back-to-back for the follow-up 2 seasons. Sanctuary, for those of you who didn't watch Sanctuary on the Sci-Fi Channel, that's what Samantha Carter, the actress who played Samantha Carter on Stargate SG-1, she was the executive producer of a show called Sanctuary, where she was like playing like an immortal who was hunting down like creatures. That was really good. Sandman was really good if you didn't watch Sandman. It did 2 seasons back to back. Totally worth watching. I'm going back through this list now. Caprica, which was a follow-up to Battlestar Galactica, was really good. Devs, if you didn't watch Devs from Alex Garland, also, yes, I've seen Altered Carbon through 3 times. Altered Carbon is phenomenal. So, I mean, yeah, I can't pick one favorite TV show, but I can say I love good TV. Like, I used to read a lot of books, and someone asked me this on stream the other day, like, do you still read? And I said, I don't read anymore because when I stopped writing full time, I stopped reading a lot. I prefer to watch shows now because we're living in the golden age of television where we have all these streaming services, and there are so many amazing shows that come out. Like, The Handmaid's Tale is another example of something that's just absolutely riveting to watch and also terrifying because it mirrors a lot of things that are happening in current society with religious nut jobs. And you could find all of these amazing TV shows, but they're kind of spread out across all these streaming services. But like, there is so much good television being produced right now. And I would argue that ever since, we got into these, like, having premium cable, there was always good shows. Sopranos is an example. But I feel like once we got into streaming, we now have so much more. I know there's like a Rift War series being produced. I love the Rift War books. Tad Williams has an Otherland series that's in production. I would love to see that make it to fruition. Stephen Colbert is behind a production of the Amber series by Roger Zelazny, which is one of my favorite book series that Zelazny ever did. Star Wars Rebels was phenomenal, yeah. So many good TV shows out there these days, and the more networks we have, the more, yeah, walk the pattern. That's one. I think the Rift War show, the Otherland show and the Amber show. I hope all three of those actually make it through and come to fruition. And for those of you who ever read the Aragon novels, obviously they did the Aragon film 20 years ago, whatever. He is working with Disney to bring a new version of that too, and he's the one helping write all the scripts, and he's got creative, control over that. Brandon Sanderson's deal that he just signed with Apple TV is groundbreaking in the sense that it gives him full creative control over the shows, and he's the one writing the script for the Mistborn show, right? So he's like, that's unprecedented, but it's also his whole career arc has been unprecedented in the sense that when he did that big Kickstarter during the pandemic that did like $50 million or whatever for his books, I think he did a video talking about that was the day Hollywood came knocking. He's like, all of a sudden Hollywood was like, he said, I'd had conversations about shows, but I was always, well, you're just going to be, we just want to do something. But he was like, we want to be based on your works, but you're just going to be like a consultant. But he's like, once they saw that we were doing all of this stuff with Kickstarter, it was like, suddenly I was in the position of, well, I don't need your money. I would love to bring my show to your network, but I want creative control. And it took him a couple of years of discussing things with different networks before he was able to get the deal that he wanted, where he gets to have creative control and he gets to write the scripts and help be a part of that process. To a level, I don't even think Stephen King necessarily, but I don't think Stephen King wants to. Like, Stephen King has done a great job of being like involved with all of his productions, but some of them he hasn't been, and he's had bad experiences in the past. But he's also, sometimes Stephen King will just be like, yeah, do what you want and go off. I think a lot of people are so this is getting interesting. This is going to be interesting. So I want to address a comment really quick that I just saw in chat. Sanderson's career has been unprecedented, but also recent issues with Rings of Power, Wheel of Time have led to this, and that is great and hopeful. I think a lot of people are going to be severely disappointed because Brandon Sanderson has a great discussion that I've seen. It was around the time that Rings of Power was coming out, and he was talking about how adaptations should be different. We should not make the TV shows the same as the books. Everything should be different. It needs to be different for the medium. And he made a statement yesterday on his social media that he is already, so he's in the middle of writing the Mistborn script, right? And everyone is attacking Brandon Sanderson for making his new Mistborn adaptation woke. And the reason they are making that statement is because he came out and said, I support transgender issues. I support LGBTQ issues. I support all of these things. I have been voting that way for the past 15 years, and I support all of these issues, and I want to make sure that as we continue to adapt my works, that we make sure that the stories showcase diversity and the fact that all people are welcome from all. And so everyone is already jumping on the bandwagon, saying that Brandon Sanderson's TV and film show adaptations are going to be woke because he made a statement about being in favor of LGBTQ plus and transgender issues. And he's in the middle of writing this Mistborn script, and people are already up in arms going, he's going to make this, it's going to be woke, it's going to be slop, it's going to be... So even when you have an author who is in charge of the creative decisions regarding an adaptation of their show, if they do something that includes people of color, transgender people, LGBTQ plus people, there is a subset of people on the internet who are not actual fans of your work, and they will go up in arms and call your shit woke slop garbage because you have black people, gay people, trans people involved at all. So I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed when the adaptation comes out, because it's not going to be the same as the books, because Sanderson has been very public for many years about adaptations should not be the same as the books, and he is definitely weaving in LGBTQ plus themes into his works, and that's already going to make a bunch of people pissed, and good for him. Those type of people need to shut up and go away. Like, we don't need that type of behavior in the modern era. Like, if you can't handle LGBTQ plus in your books, TV shows, and in your life, you need to go back to living in a cave because you're not welcome in modern society, period. If you are a bigot, if you're a misogynist, if you're transphobe, homophobe, get the fuck out of here. Go back and live in your caves. We don't want you. Like, it's just that simple. And I'm glad that he is making sure to curb check that shit at the door and be like, y'all need to sit down and shut up. We are LGBT plus friendly here. We are going to make sure that these adaptations are inclusive. We're going to make sure that the actors getting cast for the roles might not necessarily match up with the way they look in the books, but that's okay because we're going to hire people for the right reasons for the show. This is not a free speech place. Oh, I love it. I just triggered a bunch of people. This is not a free speech place. Free speech is not what you think. If you think free speech includes hate speech, you're a dumbass. Free speech does not include hate speech. Hate speech is illegal. Free speech does not include hate speech. So the fact that you just said me speaking up in favor of LGBTQ plus is not very speech, fuck you. Fuck you, you're blocked. Also, someone said Brandon Sanderson takes an L for that. Yeah, we don't want you here either. Blocked. Anybody else wanna complain about LGBTQ plus? Anybody? Anybody else want to complain about diversity and inclusivity? Someone said it's disappointing that he's going to, no, it's not disappointing. You're just a fucking racist. Bye-bye. We banned 3 people in a row for being racist, homophobes, and transphobes. Right there and all, like, in a row. In a row, we just banned 3 people. In a row. You know what I think we gotta do the music for that, guys. Let's do it.
Strong hand, fist of iron, judgment falls. Hearts are dying, banhammer strikes. Tears like rain, justice served. Feel their pain.
There is nothing like cleaning out racists from my chat. I absolutely love kicking a racist to the curb. Free speech is the right to criticize your government. Exactly, Dribrom. Free speech does not include the right to hate on other people or their belief systems. There are rules against hate speech. If you don't understand or know the laws against hate speech, you are a bigot, misogynist, homophobe, transphobe, and a racist. You need to go back to school, go to your social studies class, and actually learn the history of the country that you grew up in. Because pretty much every country on the planet, with the exception of a few developing nations, pretty much every country on the planet has laws against hate speech. Which means you are not allowed to say things against people because of their race, color, or creed. And certain things are deemed hate speech. And if you say those things in public, you will go to jail, you will face fines, you will be fired from your job. There are repercussions for saying things that are hate speech. If you don't know what hate speech is, I would highly urge you to research it. Because free speech does not mean the freedom to say anything you want. That's not what free speech means. Free speech is all about the right to criticize the government, the freedom of speech to protest, the freedom to protest. That is what free speech laws govern. Hate speech is something else entirely and govern things related to race, sexual preference, so on and so forth. So, Little Fishy said this is a dead channel. Oh, we're banning your ass as well. Fuck you, Little Fishy. I have a very thriving community, by the way. Doesn't need you here. We don't want you here. So, bye-bye. Let's clean out some more racists, kids. Let's clean out the transphobes, homophobes, and racists from the chat. Anybody else? JK says, if free speech is free, why are there defamation laws? Exactly. Emulator says, freeze peach is a step in making sorbet. Heatwave says, that's why. Tune into these streams. Empathy says, preach. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, guys. Literally, Brandon Sanderson is, like I said, to get back on the topic, he's already making people upset because he's in favor of LGBTQ+. Excuse me. And a lot of people are like, but Brandon Sanderson, your books are my beloved books, and I don't want men to be a black woman. I want men to be white. I don't want her to be gay. I want her to be straight. We don't know what Brandon Sanderson is going to be doing with his adaptations, but we do know that he is weaving in modern themes. There is a beetle on my wall. I'm going to go take care of this. Anyway, that sounds like a great segue into favorite TV shows, everybody, including upcoming Brandon Sanderson stuff, because none of his stuff has been adapted to TV, and I can't wait to watch his stuff get adapted and see the Cosmoverse. It's like Stephen King, man. Stephen King has done so much stuff on TV and film, and it's been great, and I can't wait to see Sanderson go the same route. Let me go take care of this beetle off the wall. I gotta chuck him out of my room. I don't know how he got in my room. Never mind. It fell off the wall. It's under the bed now. I don't know how it got in here. What's up, Thandar? Shiny! What's up, Shiny? Did I miss you coming in? Hey, Buttery Gaming, you seem to be new here. I love this when people try to claim this. So, Buttery Gaming just said, all of these idiots just want reactions out of you. And I'm sure it's good for views, but sometimes your streams were much better when you just played the game. So, I don't recognize your name, Buttery Gaming, and the fact that you have a bunch of a bunch of letters after your name makes me kind of wonder. I've been doing this for 5 years, full time. And if you had been around for a while, which you claim you have been, I have been doing reaction videos since the very beginning of my channel. Rings of Power was the first thing I started doing reaction content to back around 2022 after the first, I think actually even before that, because I was doing reaction videos around like Baldur's Gate 3 early access stuff. We have been doing reaction videos and reacting to trolls in this way for 5 years now. So you don't get to claim that your streams were much better when you just played games, because I have always done this, which you would know if you were the fan you claimed you were. It's been a part of my, like, there are Reddit threads about me and the fact that I take no prisoners and I take no shit from trolls. There are Reddit threads going back years about, the thing I like about Renfail the most is he doesn't take shit from trolls in his streams, and he pushes back. I've been doing this for years, so you don't get to complain that my streams were much better when you just played the game. because that's never been the case. So, yeah, bye-bye. Correct, Wizard on Twitch. It's my stream. You're here for my show. Sit down, shut up, enjoy the show, or go watch somebody else. Riser says, I found you through Lord of the Rings Online. We've been playing that game for years. Charlo says, keep doing you. 'Tis the plan. What's up, Kvorst? Amadius. What's up, Detroit? I will fight racism, homophobia, transphobia, and bigotry every single day of the week. And I will continue to do so until they put me in the grave. My wife is Mexican. Yo hablo español. Tengo residencia permanente en México. Tengo gays y transgenders en mi familia. I have gays and transgender people in my family. I will support those people and their rights to be free human beings alongside the rest of us until the day I die. Married to a minority, proud to be married to a minority. I support her in every way, shape, or form. Lithric says, I'm a hate watcher. I watch Renfail because it's annoying. Well, fuck you. You're gone. Bye. Don't want you here. You've been kind of a dick the past few days anyway, so I kind of figured that. But now you just gave me confirmation to ban your ass out the door, so see ya, bitch. JK says, pro tip, if you don't like a stream, you don't have to announce anything. You can just leave like an adult or get kicked like a child. Yep. Anybody else? I got all morning, kids. We're only an hour into the stream. We're here for 3 to 4 hours every single morning. Anybody else want to get kicked to the curb? Or can we go play the game and have fun and chit-chat about the things we love? Because the conversation started off about how we love TV shows and all the different TV shows we want to watch. And then all of a sudden we started talking about Brandon Sanderson coming out of the woodwork supporting LGBTQ+, and you saw all the racists come out. We've been doing this a lot lately. 2 days ago was Star Wars and Star Trek, and the day before that was Star Trek. Every time we talk about these topics, you'll get 5, 6, 7 racists and homophobes that come out of the woodwork and want to make it known about why gay people are bad, why trans people are bad, why we shouldn't have black women in TV shows, right? I could do this all day. It makes me money. Like, why wouldn't I continue to do the thing? There is nothing more enjoyable than putting a racist in their place. Or a homophobe. Like, putting racists, homophobes, and transphobes in their place is one of the most enjoyable activities that I can think of in my adult life. Oh, you don't believe in equality for other human beings? Oh, my. Cartoon idea of Ren saying, please tell me more about your hate speech with the band hammer held behind my back. You know the best part? I haven't focused on mounts, Riser, by the way. I'm not interested in mounts in this game. I still only have the first horse. I don't really care about it. My favorite part about... So I know that there's people raging on TikTok right now because I see some responses from the community. But the best part about it is I have a setting on TikTok. I literally don't see comments from people unless they are followers of my TikTok account. So if you want me to see your chat on TikTok, you have to follow my account. And this is great because it's a great way to, A, weed out the loser bot accounts who are never going to follow you because they're just bot accounts. And 2, it's a great way to sucker in the rage baiters, right? Because you force them to like and follow. You force them to follow your channel before they can leave a comment in the live stream, which means you gain their interaction, you get them for a click, you get them for engagement, and you get them for more commentary. And then you ban them. So I get all the clicks and all the likes and all the algorithm juice and all the money from the engagement, and then we kick them out the door. And meanwhile, they're raging into the void because they don't realize that I don't see their commentary. It's great. I don't even see the comments, but I see people responding to the comments, which is hilarious. And then on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, we only focus on our paying subscribers, which is great. So if you're a paying member, your chat gets prioritized and everybody else just gets to suck it. I am a demon, Lobo. Drac Lobo. Anna says, I saw a wolf mount that looked kind of cool. I haven't checked out the other mounts, honestly. I've just stuck with my same old horse the whole time. Alright, apparently there's a rumor here.
Hi.
Hello.
What brings you out this way? I'm headed to the cabin where we gathered that night. I've been avoiding it, making up excuses, saying I'm too busy. But the dead still deserve my prayers and attention.
I still haven't gotten to the
You should come
Barber
with me.
yet. We might eventually get to the Barber. Hundreds of thousands of dew, Valcom. Welcome aboard.
Come on.
Lead on,
I'm glad we
Naira.
ran into each other. Truth be told, my resolve was wavering. Did you come for the same reason?
It was Marius who pushed me to come.
I think the only thing that flies in this
Pay
game is
my
the Dragon
respects
Mount
to our
Thandor.
fallen comrades.
Good. We can't bring them home, but we can at least say our farewells. I took Jan's flask to pour a drink for him.
You let your
Stuck on the
dickhead-
environment.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought he'd make a fuss, but when I said it was for our fallen comrades,
Hiya.
he gave it over.
Gray
without
says,
a
I
word.
just noticed from all the questing I've been doing, I finally got the smithy in the camp. What? I haven't gotten the smithy yet.
Yeah. Oh.
Did I have a TikTok when I started creating content? No. So I started a TikTok account and an Instagram account. Not when I started this channel. So I wasn't gonna do Instagram for this brand because I wasn't doing photo. So I started using
I
Instagram
think I
back
heard
when it was
something over
photography. So for our
Let's go see
travel
what it was.
blog, and when Chris and I were doing traveling full time, Instagram was still a photo platform. So we were using Instagram for photos, and then there was a few years where we were retired from that, and I wasn't using Instagram. And when I started working on this brand, I wasn't going to use Instagram because I wasn't doing photography, and I didn't realize it had switched over to video content until maybe a couple years back. So I didn't start my Instagram account for this brand until maybe 2 years ago.
We must decide our future course of action.
TikTok, I started a
Offering a
TikTok
prayer for the
account
fallen.
during the pandemic. Not for content creation. I started it because my brother and my sister-in-law were like, "Hey, TikTok is a lot of fun to watch,
How have you
just
been?
for like entertainment value. There's a lot of good skits and stuff." So I had a TikTok account for probably
You'd like to pay your respects
maybe 3 years before I started using it for my brand. And all I did with my TikTok account was watch funny videos and follow interesting people who were doing things like painting miniatures.
handiwork.
I got a guy who's a boat captain. He
does.
captains. His name's Captain Mark, I
You're
think.
only
He's
here because of them.
I think he's from the UK. He's a boat captain for like
Seems many
um,
of us had the same idea.
storage containers, like storage container. He's like pirates. He pirates. Excuse me. He pilots a storage ship.
Should have driven it left.
And then
We almost lost
I
it.
follow a bunch of people on
Could've
TikTok
if
just
you
because
didn't
I
have
like
such poor
interesting
aim.
content that has
Keep
not necessarily
practicing.
anything to do with gaming. And then maybe 2 years ago,
Oi,
I think it was January
back
of
in
last
time.
year,
Cliff, you're back as well.
I would need to go back
You
and look.
rogue! It's really you!
So a year and a half ago-ish,
You're
I
both
think was
as
when I
rowdy
started
as
using
ever.
TikTok and Instagram for this brand.
Look at you!
I started
Seriously?
producing short
Settle
content,
down.
I should have
which I
been the
hadn't
one
been
to
doing
do
up until
this.
that point.
Thank you.
I think I had randomly published
No
things
need
from
for
here,
all
you know,
of
from
that.
time to time, but I
Eh?
really started daily videos
I'm gathering
on
the
TikTok and
remaining
Instagram
baby, and I need
last
your strength.
January. And then
And who's
last
going to watch
June,
over them?
Instagram
Our
kicked
comrades
off with
wouldn't
some
want you
viral
bound
stuff
to this place.
and went from like 135 followers
You're
up
right.
to,
They wouldn't.
I think we had 30,000 followers by the end of the
Job to
year,
go
and now we're
home
up to
then.
like 45,000 followers on Instagram. And then TikTok very slowly over the course of that first year was growing from like, it grew to like, I think we had like 3,500 followers by like November, December. And then December, we had a whole bunch of stuff that kicked off because of Skyrim this past holidays. And the TikTok account went from like 3,500 followers up to like, I think we had like 20,000 by the end of the year. And now we're like, I don't even know where we're at right now with TikTok. Like, are we at 22,000 yet? We're almost to 22,000 on TikTok. So I just started using TikTok and Instagram like a year and a half ago for short content. And then I started streaming to TikTok November along with Kick. We added Kick and TikTok to the streaming rotation in November. So we've been there for 5-6 months now. I've been live on YouTube for 5 years. Twitch, it's been 2.5 years. We've been multi-streaming. So yeah, we've had good growth. We're doing good. We're doing very good. Maddie says, I found you via Skyrim Talk. I like the comment about Detroit made, like back when IG was IG. Yeah, I've been using Instagram for a long time for other things. Like, so I started as a travel influencer. I don't even want to say, I hate using that terminology, but that's what most people think about. I was a travel content creator all the way back in 2008 when I first moved to Bulgaria. I started off with a MySpace page, and then I had a blog. I had a WordPress blog. Those are still out there if you want to go digging. I created a Facebook account, I think in around 2008, maybe 2009, somewhere in there. And then I had an Instagram account early when Instagram was a thing. And it was always just the funny thing to me too is like I had a YouTube channel back when YouTube wasn't even like monetized for the travel content. So I was doing travel guides, and I was one of the first people to, they call it digital nomads these days. Back in the day, it was called location independence. You were location independent if you were traveling around the world and working a digital job with the power of the internet. So circa 2009, 2010, it was location independent. I think it was around 2012, 14, somewhere in there. It started becoming digital nomadism, digital nomads. Um, so I wrote one of the first books on how to make a living online and travel the world. It was called the Expat Guidebook. I published it in, I think it was the beginning of 2013. It might have been 2012. Somewhere in that time frame. It did 50,000 sales, like, within the first year. And that allowed me to just become financially independent of pretty much everything. And then I just worked contracts, and I was traveling the world working for brands and making a living online as a travel writer and travel photographer. And then that led into becoming a marketing person and working on marketing campaigns and becoming a travel influencer with my wife and a public speaker, and that led to founding the game studios, and then now here we are these days. So I can remember back when Instagram was just for photos. And nowadays, I don't know that anybody uses it for photos because it's all reels. Like if you look at my Instagram for this account, it's just short reels. That's it. I don't do any photos. Um, I haven't done photos on IG for years. I've also been around long enough. I used to make a boatload of money selling books through Facebook using the Facebook advertising system. And I remember I did a presentation. It was one of the first. It was the first international travel conference that I got invited to speak at. My presentation was on the power of Facebook ads for selling your travel books. And back in the day, what you used to be able to do, this was brilliant, by the way. You can't do this anymore, but this is what I would do. You used to be able to go and find a user. So every Facebook account has a unique username, has a unique user code. So you might have your username set to something, but behind the scenes there is a code, facebook.com/ a random string of numbers, right? And that's your account. So what you used to be able to do is you used to be able to go into the Facebook advertising system and you could plug in everybody's usernames, your user codes. You could plug in those codes and you could populate a spreadsheet. You could take like an XML spreadsheet, an Excel sheet, and you could have all of these user numbers, right? And you could put that spreadsheet into the Facebook advertising system, and it would specifically send ads to those people. So what I did is I would go scour these Facebook sites, these groups, and I would go through these groups, and they would have 6,000, 8,000 users, right? And myself and my assistant would go through those, and we would just manually, by the way, we didn't do this with a program. We would do this manually. We would just sit there for hours a day, and we would copy paste, 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 and we would go through these groups, and we would go to every single user that was in those groups, and we would copy their user ID and paste it into an Excel document, right? And we would just do that for days on end. And then we would take that document and put it into the Facebook advertising system, and I would blast out an ad for my books. And it would advertise my books to those specific users who I knew were people who liked travel content and people who wanted to or were already traveling the world and or were trying to become writers, wanting to become writers, or trying to become writers online and do that kind of stuff. And so I sold a bunch of books that way. And that was one of the first big international travel conferences that I spoke at, was telling people how to use the power of Facebook advertising to sell books. It was brilliant, but then they got rid of that system and we had to evolve but for a long time I made good money selling books through. Oh, this is great. Hey guys, check this out. We have a troll who came to. When did he create his account? So his account's been a while for around, but this is his first time chatting over on Twitch. His first comment went straight to insulting my hairline. Don't forget, I'm also bald. Don't forget about, it's not just about the hairline. I'm also bald. Don't forget about that. You can't forget. Let's read this comment, kids. Let's read this comment. Oh, he had a second one, which the comment the Twitch already captured and blocked. He's gonna rant in chat before I ban him. So his first comment says, "So let me get this straight. Everyone I've seen gives advice or comments nothing negative, but you're a dick for no reason. You think it's cool? While you're bragging about doing this for 5 to 6 years with 30 viewers making pennies trying to save your half head of hair, it's so pathetic and sad. I've literally listened to you be a dick to everyone for 5 minutes, and I get why you only have 30 viewers after 5 years, because no one really likes you, just like in real life. Your dead gay parents are so proud, I bet. You're a loser. Wow. And then the rest of you is trying to flex, which is more sad. Your life is over. Stop reminiscing." I'm going to allow that comment into Twitch chat for a minute so that people can see that I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up. We're going to show his comment in chat before we ban his ass. So this is someone who's very upset. Obviously, this is someone who we need to feel sorry for. We talked about therapy the other day. We talked about people who have mental illnesses and who need therapy. This is clearly an individual who is mentally distressed in real life. We need to feel sorry for this person. We need them to seek professional help. So, Night Momentum, I would highly urge you to seek professional help for your anger issues. You definitely need some therapy. I would highly recommend that you seek professional help. Yeah. And we are going to ban you because your comments are highly offensive and you're not here for the right reasons. You know, if you're here to be a part of our community and to celebrate the games we play, you're welcome here, but you're not, so we're banning you. So, just come out of the closet. It's okay, buddy. So, this is someone who, we're multi-streaming. I always love to do education on this. So I do income reports and analytics reports on YouTube. Where I'm 5 years in, and I've shown from day one how much money I make, where the money comes from, channel growth, etc., all on YouTube. So feel free to dig into those videos at your leisure. We multi-stream. The audience is different every single day. Like today we have about 45 people-ish on Twitch. Looks like 50 to 60 on YouTube, and we're at about 20 to 30 on TikTok, and a handful, I think we're less than 5 or 6 on Kick. It is what it is. Most days playing this game, we're around 120 to 150 people. That's pretty good for where I'm at. It pays the bills. I make several $1,000s a month doing this. I don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. I don't make tens of thousands of dollars per month, but I do make several $1,000s per month doing this full time. In between advertising revenue, channel memberships, sponsorships, book sales, and merch sales. So if you're interested in how much money I make and where the money comes from, I do those analytics over on YouTube, and I have a series called How to Be a Full-Time Content Creator and Streamer. It's a free series, completely free. We're up to like 22, 23 episodes on YouTube. Go watch that episode in that series if you would like more information on this. Thandar says, tell us you haven't seen Ren's content and core subscribers without telling us. You're just a troll. Correct. Yeah, there's links all over the place for the merch stuff and everywhere else. I am absolutely a dick to people who are dicks to me. So if you come into my chat and act like an asshat, I am going to be an asshat to you. If you act like a racist, I will treat you like a piece of shit you are. If you are a homophobe or a transphobe, I will treat you like the piece of shit you are. But if you come into my chat and you're friendly and you want to play games and you're here to celebrate games and you want to get engaged with the content that we're creating and the community that we have, when we're talking about a TV show and we're celebrating the TV show, or we're talking about a game and we're celebrating the things we love about that game, and you're there to talk about how cool that stuff is and how much you love that stuff too, then you're in the right place. But if you come into my place and try to interrupt that, can you imagine if I was running a restaurant and I served hamburgers, and everybody there who loves hamburgers is there to eat hamburgers. And all of a sudden, a bunch of vegans storm into that restaurant and start yelling about meat is murder, meat is murder. You're an asshole for eating meat. Fuck you for eating beef. That's the exact same thing, right? We're here to enjoy hamburgers. If you also love hamburgers, you're in the right place. But if you want to come into our place of business and yell about how eating hamburger is bad and meat is murder and that kind of shit, you're in the wrong place. You're not welcome here. And you're not going to find a welcoming embrace or a hug. You're going to be shown the door and saying, get the fuck out of my premises. You're trespassing. Bye-bye. And you're getting banned from this establishment. It's that fucking easy. It's not hard, kids. So, respect is earned, not given. Pretty much. I'm also old, and it's like I don't have to give a fuck. I'm not here to please anybody. Like we had somebody ask the other day, and it's like, aren't you worried? It's like, what am I worried about? They're not my audience. I have no desire to be Asmongold or Moist Critical or Luke Stevens or Misty Matty Plays, and I have no desire to be this big, massive, burnt peanut character who has hundreds of thousands of incels in his community ranting and raving about every single thing under the sun. I don't want those people in my community. I don't want them here. That's not what we're about. We're about inclusivity, embracing everyone equally, playing games for fun, enjoying the video games that we play, enjoying the TV shows that we watch, enjoying the films that we watch. And I will fight very hard to protect the sanctity of my community and to make sure that we have standards. Like, there are standards for being a part of this community. It's pretty simple. It's not hard to be a decent human being to other people. And if you are a decent people to other people, if you're a decent human being, I will treat you like a decent human being. But if you act like a bitch, I will treat you like a bitch. It's that simple. This is a private place of business. It's not your Reddit thread where you get to come in and spout your hatred and racism and homophobia and everything else. No. There are other streamers where you can do that. Not my house, kids. Not my house. So, now that we've cleared out some more trash, let's get back to playing the game. I do love the fact
we're all reunited again.
you could tell the ones you've really triggered because they'll go after my hairline, and it's like, first and foremost, not only have I been losing my hair for years, I am balding in the back as well. You think that I give a shit? I literally sit here and my hair looks like absolute mad scientist every single day. I have one haircut a year, which I think we're doing today, actually. Today or tomorrow, Chris said we're doing my annual haircut. I'm old. Male pattern baldness is a thing. I also have no eyebrows. Well, I do have eyebrows, but they're really thin and they're blonde and they're a little gray. So I have some of them. You can see them right here in this area, but on the outsides, it's really scraggly. Anthony Hopkins is the same way. Anthony Hopkins doesn't have a lot of eyebrows either. Like, what other flaws do we need to point out? Oh, I was joking about this the other day. I got bat wings because of that weight gain that I put on because of the leg injury. And I raised my arm the other day and I saw my bat wings flapping and I was like, oh shit, I got to take care of that. But that's from sitting on my ass for a year and a half from leg injury, so I couldn't do any exercises. So I've got that's called Coca-Cola and sweets, like sweet pastries and stuff, and potato chips. Anger Ewok says you have a Merlin beard in your older videos. Oh yeah, I grew my beard out for 2.5 years down to my belly button. I also, if you go back far enough, I used to have hair down to my butt, but I cut my hair off because I was getting older and it was thinning. And I didn't want to be the dude with like 6 hairs pulled back in a ponytail, so I cut it off, and I've been the mad scientist ever since then. Like, In order for people to be able to insult your physical appearance, you have to give a shit about your physical appearance. I clearly do not. Nor do I have to. The beauty of the internet is I don't have to, like, be beholden to someone else's beauty standards. I don't get paid because I'm pretty. I get paid because I'm entertaining. And entertaining can be lots of different ways. Correct. You know you've won the argument when they attack your hairline. History Bologna says, you're right. The moment someone makes a personal attack against your physical appearance, you've already won the argument. Because they have nothing to counter you with. They have nothing to say against the discussion at hand, and so they resort to personal insults like the 5-year-old on the playground. Because they're still stuck in that 5-year-old bully mentality. They've been a bully since they were 5 years old on the playground, and they're still bullies in their day-to-day. Attacking people based on their personal appearance is the lowest of the low. Hang on, Thandar. Hang on, I have a, hang on. So, Thandar says Ren gets sad and wipes his tears with cash. Not only am I going to do it with cash, I'm going to do it with cash in 2 different currencies. Oh, I have dollars and I have pesos. So I get to wipe my tears in multiple currencies, kids. I don't just wipe my tears with my dollars. I wipe my tears with pesos, euros. I make money from all over the world. It's the best part about being an international audience is that my money comes from everywhere. And I tell you what, Troll Tears, I have a merch in our merch store. There's 2 lines of merch. One says, Troll Tears fuel my retirement. And the other one says, thanks for the free engagement. So every time we get trolls, thanks for the free engagement, your Troll Tears are fueling my retirement. I'm currency maxing. That's right. Shiny says I'm so poor I have to use coins. And by the way, I am not rich by any means, but everything is paid off. I'm rich in love and rich in life, kids. I do have this house is paid for. This homestead's paid for. We bought an investment property in the woods. We paid cash for that too. My shit's all paid for. I don't have millions in the bank, but my shit's all paid for, and that's worth more than most people can say. And I get to sit here and do this all day, every day. Even though I only have 30 viewers, right? I do love the guys who try to insult you when they think that you're only... because they're only looking at one of the places where you stream. And so they'll be like, you only have X amount of people there. And I'm like, today, yeah, I think today there's been 40, 50 people on Twitch. We've had 500 people on Twitch. We've had 700 people on Twitch. We've had 200 people on Twitch. I've had 6 to 8 people watching on Twitch before. It's different every day, different every game. I have 12,000 videos on YouTube. I get paid by companies to play games, sponsorship deals. I get offers to go places all the time. I don't take those offers up. Bethesda was the first offer I've taken to go anywhere with this particular audience, with this particular brand. The Bethesda trip was the first trip I've taken. Go back 5 or 6 years ago when I was the CEO of a game studio, and go back and watch those videos, you're going to see I was traveling all over the world, going to different game conferences and meeting up with different heads of game studios because I was a CEO of a game studio and the creative director on an MMO for 8 years. Like, you get people who are here who are like, you're a nobody because you've only got 5, 10, 15, 30 people watching you on Twitch. And it's like, first and foremost, I'm live on multiple places. And second of all, honey, this is my retirement gig. Like, I've already had a very fulfilling career doing lots of different things. I have accomplished every single thing on my bucket list has been completely knocked off. The only thing that's left on my bucket list are actually my wife's bucket list items. She wants to go to Japan and she wants to go to Egypt. We can't go anywhere right now because we have all the animals, but we've already talked about, if we're still healthy and we're good in, once the animals are no longer a factor, then we will probably head out the door again and do some traveling in our twilight years. But we were I don't want to say lucky because it was hard work. Thanks to the Twitch sub, Alaski, by the way. I missed that in the middle of our ranting. Recognize that Twitch sub. That's a new person subscribing. Thank you very much. I did all my traveling when I was young. So from the time I was 19 until Chris and I quit traveling when we were 38 years old. So we did all of our traveling in our 20s and 30s. So I worked in the travel industry. So I've already done the whole go to all the places, see all the things you want to do. Because I made that my job. I pursued my hobby and made it into a career. I wanted to write full time. I pursued that and I made it into a career. And I published millions of words around the world. I've published books, science fiction, fantasy, travel. I've done all of that. Yes, I'm bragging right now. Flexing a little bit. Just for the purposes of thumbing my nose in the face of the people who are like, but you only have 30 viewers on Twitch. Yeah. Thanks, Tiff. Resub over on Twitch 2 months in a row. Is there a coffee mug that says that, Detroit? Detroit, my merch store has t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, coffee cups, and water bottles. So yes, I have coffee mugs that say that. I'm using my... Oh, by the way, guys, speaking of, I'm just a lowly streamer who only has 30 people watching me on Twitch. So this is a coffee mug that Rebellion sent me for playing Atomfall last year. This is a badass coffee mug, but this is one of those... This stuff will never die. This thing, I can throw it across the room, drop it, it'll never break. So I have these in my merch store, as well as your traditional ceramic coffee mugs, as well as stainless steel water bottles, and t-shirts. And I don't promote the merch store all that often, but there is a link to it. So I also have, we've showed it off before. I have a big old, Rebellion sent me a big old swag bag of merch for Atomfall. I have a deck of Atomfall cards that I often play with when I'm sitting here at my desk. But you only have 30 views on Twitch. It's funny when people try to tie your worth to how many viewers they think you have on a given day, and they don't take a look at the breadth and depth of what you do for a full-time job. Dork Knight, thanks for the sub over on Twitch. Appreciate it. Will I do more travel offers after your Bethesda trip? No. It just depends on the... It depends on the company. I get offers all the time. I've probably had 6 offers in the last 8 months or so. I don't feel the need to leave my house. I've discussed this in other places. But I've had offers to go speak at conferences. I have no desire to leave my house. Unless you're paying me a shitload of money. I don't leave my house generally for anybody. I traveled full-time for years. I was a public speaker for years. I've done the conference circuit. I've been wined and dined. My wife and I were at the top tier as travel influencers. I've already done all that shit. So I don't really feel the need to leave my house anymore. It has to be a really good offer. There are a handful of companies that I'll leave my house for. Bethesda, Larian, Owlcat, BioWare are a few of the names that jump to the top of my list. Those are companies I would leave my house for. But this whole idea of you need to go to all the events to flex about how cool you are. Yeah, I don't play that game. Homie, don't play that game. I don't need to. I have nothing to prove to anybody. I'm not hungry. I'm not trying to become the next burnt peanut. I'm not trying to win a streamer award. I'm not trying to dominate YouTube and Twitch. I make a very comfortable living. The audience grows every single day. I have net growth at the end of every single year. I make enough money to pay the bills. I get enough money to put money in the savings. I get new offers that come my way every single day. I don't... What do I need all that shit for? Travel takes me away from my office. I don't stream on the days I don't travel. You have to deal with getting sick when you travel. Immigration, custom lines are a pain in the ass. Travel is not fun anymore. It's not fun. Travel used to be fun. Travel is no longer fun. Especially when you're going somewhere for like one day. And you got to do like 2 days of travel to get there and 2 days of travel to come home. So there's going to be 4 to 5 days of no sleep. One day you're there. So there are certain companies I will do it for, but yeah. No, I don't give a shit about Crimson Desert enough to want to go to any of their events. I don't. Pearl Abyss does not. They don't make games that are my. Like I said, they're not my typical. You know, this was a game I just played because I knew it was going to be good for the channel. And I have had fun with it, but I told people this the other day. If there was something else that was out right now, I would be playing that instead of this.
I was wondering when you'd come.
Alaski says being wholesome and
Seems weird
badass
how
is way
this
more
camp's
cool than
getting
having
around.
thousands of subs and being ultra
Right?
materialistic. Just a footnote. You're not wrong. Thank
More
you.
folk are saying that they've caught sight of us Greymanes.
Adamfall is great. Cool
Which
fool.
is great news.
Had a great time. I played all the
We're
DLCs
close
too.
to finding them all. We've just got to help them find their way here.
I like your optimism.
Soon, we'll be back together once more. Our goal is in sight. We're almost there. I know we'll find them all.
Aye.
Look into the rumor. We're going to just keep pursuing rumors for the moment because I want to get more of these guys. Ooh, I don't think I've done that waterfall either. Yeah, I had a great time with Adamfall. I liked the first DLC more than the second DLC, but like, I don't know if you guys caught the trailer. Rebellion just dropped the trailer for their new sci-fi horror shooter at the Xbox partner event a couple days ago. We did a reaction video to that. It looks freaking awesome. And I already was like talking to Molly, who's their community manager on Twitter, like, this is gonna, I can't wait. We did Sniper Elite last year. We did Adamfall last year. Rebellion makes good games. And you want to know something funny, guys? I did not know that the CEO of Rebellion was the same. I did not know this until like last week. I have been watching this guy on YouTube for years, 6-7 years. He does all these medieval videos about how people used to live in the Middle Ages, and they'll dress up like as a knight, and they'll do like, this is how they made food, this is how they do. This is how they do this. This is how they do this. This is how they do this. I did not know that that dude was the CEO of Rebellion Game Studios. I had no clue until like a week ago or so, because I came into Rebellion like I had never played any of the Sniper Elite games. I had never played a Rebellion game until last year. I played Sniper Elite, the most recent Sniper Elite game that came out, and then we immediately went and played Adamfall after that. And so I had never played a Rebellion game before that. And I was like, they make good games. I had a lot of fun with both of those games. But I have been following that guy on like watching his YouTube videos for years. And then I find out that he's the CEO of Rebellion. I was like, no fucking way. I had no clue. Excuse me. Yeah, when I was playing Sniper Elite last year, everyone was telling me you should try all these Sniper Elite games are great, and I'm like, I've never played them before, but I had a lot of fun with the one I did play last year. which was the most recent one. Was it Sniper Elite Resistance, maybe is what it was called? And it had a total cliffhanger of an ending.
We'll find the others just over that hill.
Sure, but what then? When we get there?
Join them, of course. Re-establish the Greymanes.
Yes!
I don't think I can. What? We've come
The
all this
ADS
way.
game looks awesome.
Fancy finding you all here.
Clef. By the ancestors. It's
You
you.
looking good as ever?
Not too bad yourselves.
We heard about the Greymane camp here.
So what are you standing around here for?
Well, the thing is,
You heard what we said, didn't you? We're worthless to the Greymane.
Worthless?
That day, the Greymanes needed fighters, not the likes of us. What good are dyed silks or my trinkets when men are dying all around?
hold on now. We're still Greymanes. I'm proud of my stylish souls.
Style. Style doesn't stop arrows. We ran when the fighting started. What will they say if we ask to join now? Huh?
They'll laugh. Or call us worthless cowards.
You should see the state they're in without you. Anyone would think them beggars. Aye, tattered clothes, unkempt beards, bits of tin about our fingers. Our looks no longer strike fear in any man.
Yes. You're in need of the clothes I dyed then.
How many have gathered? If each is in desperate need.
It's true. Unka's beard would be an unsightly tangle if not
Is this
for
the
me.
Barber? Am I finally getting the Barber?
That's right. Now let's be off.
Sounds to me like he's a barber, and these guys are all like clothing, cosmetic oriented. Return to Marius. I just got some dye packs. I'm hearing Lucas run around the house crying. I don't know what he needs. May have to go check on him in a minute. It's almost time for my second cup of coffee anyway. I got 2 hours into my stream and I didn't get my second cup of coffee because we got sidetracked with all the trolly little bitches that we had to ban. Yep, I see a barber icon on the map now. Right here. Yep, I hear Chris. I probably need to go say good morning anyway. If you have the barber,
That
you
was
should also have
quicker
the
than
smith. It's
expected.
near your storage chest.
they close
Alright,
by?
thank you, Gray.
The camp's in high spirits now that pretty much everyone is reunited. It really is nice to see the camp so lively. But I still think about the few that haven't returned.
Don't worry about it.
We can't give up hope. Not till we found every last one of us.
Every last one of us.
Here, let me mark all the relevant spots on your map.
We're definitely going to keep going and
I
finding
can't
more
wait
Greymanes
till all of
today.
us are back together.
Okay, so there should be a smith here now too. I also need to collect camp buns with an internal defense mission at the Zarian Manor, it says. Hold on, let me find the smith. Oh, I see it. I see it. It is right here. Yay! I can do a smithy now for my
Care to
own.
witness the iron
home.
art my hammer can forge?
There we go. Oh, that's tempting. I need one more bloodstone to go to the next rank. Or
You care to
I'm
wait
gonna hold off
if you
before
need
Let me
anything,
go to the barber
just
really
stop
quick.
by.
You know what? Let me hold that thought. Hold that thought. Internal defense mission at the Azarian Manor. I need to check this mission. Open map. Okay, I need to sleep so that it's daytime before I use the barber. Otherwise, I won't be able to see. Estate security. How many do we need? 5 to 7. You know what? Let's just go down the list. Let's pick 7 dudes. Okay. Enjoy it if you do, Melissa. What's up, Gene? Gene says I finally befriended a fat cat for my pet in the game. Haha. I tried to the other day and he wouldn't take my fish. So I was like, well, I'm not going to deal with him right now. I'm pretty happy with my Puss in Boots, man. My little musketeer guy. Alright, let's go use the barber. And then I gotta go get my coffee and say good morning to my wife because she's up.
Hair, brows. Tell me what you want
The
to say.
problem is, no one's gonna see this because I'm always wearing the stupid helmet, right? Like, what is the purpose? I did not know that those earrings were visible. I'm not a fan of any of those hairstyles. These are just the same ones that were in character creation. It's not like anything new. Eh. Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be like Red Dead Redemption 2 where you could like grow your hair out or grow your beard out. Apparently not. And I always wear a helmet anyway, so that's kind of weird. I don't feel like I don't feel like that is that useful. All right, kids, we're going to take 5 to 10 and I'm going to go say good morning to my wife, take a bio, stretch my eyes, stretch my legs, get some more coffee. It will be 5 to 10. So I would urge you in the meantime to get over onto YouTube and follow along there because everything in between the streams happens over there. Game guides, reviews, discussion videos. You can also go follow all of our socials. Twitter, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, all those good things. The merch store, the Amazon store, the Discord, the Patreon, the Homestead channel, if you like ducks and chickens and cats. Y contenido en español porque nuestra casa es en Mexico. I'll be back in 5 to 10.
A fine day.
Greetings, Greymane. Sorry, I was lost in thought. Well, look who dropped by. Hail.
Well met, friend.
I have said good morning to my wife, given her her hugs and kisses, hugged and kissed all the cats. Chris took out the trash. We are back from our break. It is Monday, everybody. We do need to go to the grocery store this morning. So I think after the morning stream, we are going to run some errands. We do not have our grandniece for the next 2 weeks. So we're on vacation.
Well met, warrior.
We don't have a 3.5-year-old running around the house. So we're going to go get caught up on all the things that we need to get caught up on. Might check a couple things before we go any further. The PlayStation armor they give you for free makes Cliff have no mustache with the visor up. That's interesting.
Perfect timing. I've got an idea to share.
Oh, these are some good questions. Someone just asked, I'm going to be playing Starfield for the first time on the PS5. How fast can I get Andreja? That'll be a good, I could do a video on companions. Yeah, that's a good one. What's up, Rated? Happy Monday indeed. They didn't do, Xbox or PC pre-order armor, Gene? That's kind of lame. Because I just did the basic pre-order, and this is the armor I got. I'm surprised they didn't do any sort of armor for Xbox and PC pre-orders. You just got gold armor. Okay. Interesting.
Greetings, Greymane.
Greetings. I will get back to adventuring in a moment. I was checking all of my socials for commentary. Huh. I was not aware that they did different pre-order armors for different platforms. That seems really weird. This song right here. They have some really good, like, passive music in this game. Okay. We have some more quests to gather more Greymanes, and I think that's what I'm going to remain focused on for the moment, is continuing to gather more Greymanes, because I'm a big fan of expanding my camp. Main quest missions can wait. Justin says the deluxe version that costs $10 more gave me horse armor and my armor and sword and shield on Xbox. Huh. Yeah, the loading music is really good. Cause I'm free, free flying. Howdy, boys.
You're a grey mane, aren't you?
Did my wings not give it away?
An eye for these things.
Are you in need of help?
It's not me that needs help. But there are folk looking for grey manes up on that hill. Look to be Palunese. Let's get to them before they move on.
We could do that.
Well, thanks.
There's a rumor. And then we go back up the hill. I think I just saw something blue in the trees back over there. Maybe not. Oh, you're a pretty kitty. Who are you? Oh, look at you. Oh, aren't you a pretty boy? Black and white. Oh, I don't have one of you yet. My little Puss in Boots is getting jealous. Is he gonna jump on my shoulder? He's gonna be like, Dad, what are you doing, Dad? Come on, Dad. You're supposed to be petting me, not the other one. Is he gonna jump? Oh, he's totally gonna jump. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I need a shot. I need a screenshot. Give me a screenshot. Oh, I think he's on his way down. It's not gonna be a good enough shot, man. I'm just rolling in pussy kids. Sorry, not sorry.
May he find peace where he rests. One of us was spotted in an hand. Ah, Cliff! Cliff!
Good to see you alive.
Ah, the pillar of the Cremines has returned.
Oi, if you were alive, why not let us know sooner?
Ah, I'm sure he has his reasons. It's a tough thing, living.
How have you been faring?
I've been chasing word of the others, which led us here.
What word?
My guess is Unca, but, well, not much to go on. So I've been asking folk passing through the gate.
All this waiting around is starting to drive me mad.
Speaking of, Gerald should be back by now. Ah, there he is.
I have returned. And it's but a fresh face. Looks an awful lot like Cliff.
Aye, he does, doesn't he? Wonder why that is.
Cliff? I never knew you had a twin. I'm sorry about your brother. He was a good man, as I'm sure you know. We all loved your brother very much.
Still got your head in the clouds, Gerald.
Oh, hold on! You're no twin! You're the real thing! That's good to see you again, Cliff! I need to tell you something. A traveller told me the Greymanes are regrouping.
It's
Aye.
true.
I'm the one who's been gathering them.
It's true.
So,
I'm the one.
will you join us?
Come on. Do you have to ask? It's the only thing we've been dreaming of.
That's right. Renfail's brothel.
Aye.
When we arrive,
I
let's
couldn't
have a
agree
feast.
more. Aye.
With ale. Yeah.
Finally. I can rest easy for a while. What should we bring as a gift?
Okay. Excuse me. Oh, there's something near us. What is he doing? He's got a stick.
Oh, what a surprise. Visiting the graves at this hour.
Visiting the graves.
Soon the hunt for the Stagnor will begin. I came to tell those who went before us.
That's Neil.
At last that bastard will pay for his crimes. I don't usually keep the stone lanterns lit, so the path is dark. Let me walk with you.
This might lead to that Stag Lord boss.
I appreciate your kindness.
So Neil and Alex have both done quite a few voiceovers in this game. So these are all the comrades. I'm waiting for it to see if it updated that quest. Yeah, great. That's one of those things where it's like the game hasn't done a very good job of like explaining some of the main story stuff. Okay. Oh, so the stag thing is a faction mission? Okay. Alright, well never mind. So that was apparently just more tips. So there's probably more lore stuff related to the Stag Lord. Just related to these little side quests and things. Gotcha. Wait, is there nobody in here? It says if an NPC doesn't see you. But there's definitely NPCs out here, and that's going to do a ping. Which will probably get me seen. Oh, hang on, there's more like memory stuff here. Because my lantern is like pinging the blue circle, which means there's probably more stuff around here. Or is it just the same memory, I wonder? Oh, we already did this. Yeah, so that was the clue that led me up here, but I figured this out without the clues. Like, I came up here and lit these lanterns without needing a clue. Because I already grabbed that. I think I've already seen this too. Alright, never mind, we're good. Do 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 do. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I make a noise that scared you, Blanca? We doing, sweetie? All right, we have another rumor here. By the way, we've got some caves too that we could do. Dude, I'm way over here. My horse is way over there. That's cray cray. Lantern pings if there's a memory even when you've seen it before. Oh, I did not know that, Gerbrum. I thought it only pinged if you hadn't seen the memory. Alright. Oh, there's something here. Shit, I missed whatever he was just showing. Show me again? Do I have to completely leave to get it to show up again? Fuck are these things? Apparently nothing I can do anything with. Alright, let's see if that shows up again. I don't. There's a puzzle here and I didn't see the... They need to repeat those memories when they show up. Oh, yep, something. Fuck, I didn't see what he did with the pedestal. Let me come in from the other direction. Maybe I'll be able to see a little bit better what he's doing. So he... Is that a spear? Or is that the stab thing again? Oh, it's definitely a stab thing again. Okay, so there's obviously... Oh. I don't see any symbols around here, though, that would tell me what the symbols I'm supposed to look for are. There's a star, star, star. Oh. Okay. They're all stars. What am I supposed to do here? Maybe I'm supposed to turn these so that the water is pointing into the fountain, but the water is pointing into the fountain on this one. There's 2 streams from that one, 2 streams from this one. I bet I have to turn these 2 to get the streams pointing into the fountain, if I had to guess. What's up, Glyph TV? Thanks for the resub over on Twitch. 5 months in a row. Let's try this. Let's try to get all the little streams into the fountain. God damn it. Sometimes trying to get this stupid stab ability. Nope, I think I missed. That did something. There we go. That's what we had to do. Thank you very much. Getting sidetracked with a story thing.
Yeah.
Just go, horsey, go. Nothing in the vicinity.
Let's widen our search.
Hello.
What's gone into you? You all right?
Why am I still alive? The smell of burnt flesh.
Cliff,
The
you're
piercing
alive.
Screams.
It's really you.
The scalding
Bloody
heat.
good to see you again.
Innocent lives needlessly lost.
Brent's been like this since that day.
Why am I still breathing?
Survivor's guilt.
Because you are. Now look up.
Don't be a whitey little bitch.
Cliff, am I seeing ghosts now?
If you want value for your money
really
in
him.
terms of sheer playability, Ian is worth.
I kept
Ianish.
dreaming of this
Camp.
moment.
Ian. It's
But
Ian.
this
Sorry.
time, it's real.
Ian Ashworth on YouTube.
So,
As someone who can only afford a new game every so often, I'm torn between three big ones: RE9, Crimson Desert, and Starfield. Resident Evil 9 is not a
hear
big
that?
game.
There's more of us alive out there.
It is a very short game. It does have some replayability, but I would not
You're a
call
tough
RE9
bunch of
a big
bastards.
game. It is a short game.
And we've got fight left yet.
So,
Aye.
if you're looking
Well, we
for
need
amount of hours you're going to get out of a game, I would say
I've got to stay strong.
pick between Starfield and
comrades.
Crimson Desert. Now, these
I
two
had
offer
taken you for dead,
completely
but you're
different
here in the
experiences. If you want a really
flesh. What's to
huge
fear with you by my side?
Bethesda game set in space with
There's more
customizable
waiting.
NPC, with a customizable player
I've kept up my
character,
training in hopes
skill
of this day.
trees,
Time
unlimited
to put that
replayability
training
because
to
of
use.
This means a fresh start.
the unity
all
that
of
you can
us.
go through with the new game plus mode, and just all of the mods that the community has to offer. Starfield is the way to go. If you want a massive and also narrative RPG, then go with Starfield. If you want a really huge, massive open world action game with lots of activities to do, then I would say go with Crimson Desert. But Crimson Desert and Starfield are fundamentally two very different experiences in terms of the type of game they offer. One is a really big RPG, which is Starfield, and one is a very big open world action game, which is Crimson Desert. I would look at Crimson Desert as having a more, you're definitely going to get hundreds of hours out of this game. And if you like this type of gameplay, then that's awesome. Spend your money on this. I personally lean towards Starfield because I like narrative RPGs more than I like action games. And there is really cool action and gunplay and everything else, but they're also, one is science fiction, one is fantasy. Fundamentally, though, they play completely different. But Resident Evil 9 is not a big game. I think my playthrough was, did I even get to 15 hours on my Resident Evil 9 playthrough? Fallout 76, also another very solid option, as Shiny and JK are saying. We just did an update video on Fallout 76 yesterday or the day before. Fallout 76 is another solid option if you want a massive open world experience, but that one's a live service game. It's always online. You can play it single player or with friends, but Fallout, if you like the Fallout universe, Fallout 76 is a really good game. But yeah, if you're looking between Resident Evil 9, Crimson Desert, and Starfield, understand that Resident Evil 9 is not a big game. It can offer some players multiple replayability because of all the like costumes and stuff that you can replay the game to earn. But it's not very long. The story is there are literally achievements in that game to do speed runs in less than 3 hours for Resident Evil 9. So it's not a big game. Yeah, the gunplay in Starfield is good, and it's getting better with the Freelands update that's coming on April 7th, because now we can upgrade to that legendary tier to exotics, and you can customize the legendary stats on your weapons, and you're going to be able to take those weapons through the Unity with you into the New Game Plus, which adds a whole nother level of customability. But also, one of the things by the way, I'm going to be talking about this later. Stay tuned, because we're doing daily videos on Starfield. We're also going to be playing some more Starfield this afternoon. Now that we're in the home stretch, we're going to start to do some more Starfield in the afternoon streams, where we're going to be talking about this kind of stuff in greater detail to prep everybody for the PS5 launch. Esco said, got back into Starfield recently and completely forgot about the unlimited storage chest until I watched your tips video this morning. Thank you very much. Before the Freelands update, I would argue that you would want to go through the Unity more frequently to upgrade your powers. But now you can upgrade your powers with quantum essences, which means if you really want to, you could stay in the same universe and just upgrade your quantum powers by using quantum essences. So you don't have to go through the Unity again and again and again to farm the powers. The flip side is that it's easier to get skill points by going through the Unity, because you could do all the quests again in a different universe, which nets you more skill points and XP points to level up your character. But you can still do that through like random events and things in the first universe. I'm going to be talking about this more when we play Starfield this afternoon, so make sure to tune in this afternoon if you want more Starfield stuff. And we will be doing daily Starfield videos leading up to the launch of the PS5, when I will be starting a brand new character from scratch on the PS5 Pro. So it will definitely break things when it launches, I guarantee. If you've got mods that you're running, it's definitely going to break the mods. Just prepare yourself. Everything always breaks. Okay, we are almost done with that. Oh, how do I do the bank thing, guys? Everybody kept telling me that you can invest in the bank, and it's like a Roth 401k or something. And there's a way to like put 100 silver into the bank, and they start earning money. How do I do that? And where do I find the bank? Provisioner shop. I'm gonna go Google this. Banks in Hernand. The bank is in Hernand. Find a bank in Hernand on the north side. North side of Hernand. Royal Trading Post. North Side. I have not found a bank. Maybe it's one of these buildings? I'm going to go Google this again. I think it's this building right here. What the fuck are you?
If you can't trust the bank, who in this world can you trust?
You can open a strong box at the bank to store gold bars and silver. Once deposited, select a strategy to automatically invest and earn returns on your gold bars. Grover, I don't have a gold bar, sir.
We guarantee safe transactions.
Use personal strongbox permit to open the bank? Sure. Change investment strategy. Possible returns. Medium returns. High risk. I don't have enough silver to invest in a gold bar. How do I deposit silver? I don't think I can with... I don't know how this works. Someone told me it was 100 silver. That's way more than 100 silver. That's 500 silver. By the way, I'm not complaining about the way he looks. I think he looks awesome. I was commenting that he looks different. I hadn't seen an NPC that looks like him before. They won't even let me deposit currency. I can only deposit gold bar, withdraw with gold bar, or withdraw silver. I can't deposit. Huh.
Guarantee safe transactions.
So apparently I can't do anything until I have a gold bar in my inventory. Or I have enough silver to turn into a gold bar. That's weird. Do I have shit that needs to be sold? No. I do have some dyes I can use though. Oh, I've only done 2 of the waterfalls. I have so many waterfalls on the map and I've only done 2 of them. Those are things I do when I'm bored. I'll go doing waterfalls. Same thing with the witches quests. I have more witches quests to do. I've only done like 2 of the witches quests. Oh, I just finished the collect camp funds. All right, I'm done with all of these now. I don't have any more rumors at the moment, right? Oh, do I? Nope. What is this? Expanding the camp. Oh, we got a new mission to expand the camp. Let's do it. This is a construction mission. I need more camp funds. Oh no. Oh shit, that's 100,000. Oh, never mind. We are not. Never mind. We are not doing that. Oh my god, that's 100,000 camp credits. Wow, we're gonna be a while before we can do that one. Jesus. Okay. Let me. I need to get a nice balance of camp missions running because we're gonna need a little bit of everything. So we got 3 estate run. We got 3 manor estate securities going. That's camp funds. So I've got at least 3 of those going, which is good. That gives me that. That's fine. I should do this one. I need 4 people on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I also need to get back into the. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I need to get back into the mine. Where's it at? Quarry. Why can't I do the quarry? Can't do that quarry because I need a relationship. Where's the original quarry missions? Simple mining. Mining drill production. Research required. Huh. Otto, get your ass out there. Duncan, you too. Definitely need some more stone. Okay. That gives me a nice rotation of things. What is this? What do you get from completing the strongholds? Like, what is the purpose of those? Because it costs a lot of stuff, but it doesn't show me what it gives me in exchange for completing those, capturing the strongholds. That one kind of confuses me. Stoic says that's why I go to the provisioner and donate everything and sell a few things, but donate everything and you start getting more. I've never like really donated much. Yeah, there's so much that you could potentially do with the camp management system.
Looking for someone to join your journey? We'll always be ready.
Well, it is going to be a long while until we can do the the next stage of this upgrade.
Now's not the time to sleep.
I need 100,000 camp funds. I only have 20,000. That's not right now, bud. Not right now. Oh man, that is gonna be a hot minute.
I'll keep it safe, you have my word.
The problem is I don't really want to, all the stuff I have, I don't want to donate because I need it. So I probably just need to do some like bandit runs and then donate things. There's also these camp provisions. I don't know what to do with those. Like I don't know how to sell those if I want
Need
to.
something? Don't worry. I always make sure nothing goes missing.
I don't give money to churches. Sorry. Not in the game world and not in the real world. Ain't no church getting money from me. Ain't gonna happen. I don't care if you get a higher percentage of things. Ain't no church getting any coins out of me. Pyramid schemes for the win. Ah. Oh. It's not worth it, kids. Trust me, it's not worth it. It's not worth the bonus. Oh, this is really nice. So I had a company that just reached out, and I love it when they lay out what they want. They're asking for YouTube in particular. We're interested in. We would like to know the following: what's your rate for one video, plus leaving the video up for 1 month? What's your rate for a 2-hour live stream? And if you have an archived VOD uploaded after the live stream, is that included in your rate? What is the scope of other deliverables you can offer? And what is your availability? I love it when they come to me and they actually ask me intelligent questions. This is a marketing manager who knows their shit. Because most companies will be like, here's a free key. Please take a look at our game. And it's like, thanks for your interest, but what's your budget? Gene Ace says it's like the scam of your job telling you just an extra few hours. It's never worth it. It's never, ever, ever worth it. Well, I'm going to answer that guy later because that was a very well thought out email. And I might be too expensive for them, but they're at least going to get the courtesy of a reach around reply. Kudos to companies who actually know how to send a professional email. All right, I cannot expand the camp. All right, I'm at rank 6 on health, rank 6 on stamina. Can I go rank 6 on spirit? Let's do it. All right. We're doing pretty good in those arenas. I really need to upgrade my sword, which needs bloodstones. JK says, if you work really hard, put in the hard hours, you'll have a job where you work hard for long hours and the same pay. Yeah, it's tough, man. I would say if you go back 50 years, you could still trust that the place you worked at was worth putting the time into, and there was going to be longevity, job security, stock options, seniority, pay raises, pension plans. Like my grandmother, she's no longer here. She passed a few years ago. But my grandmother, as an example, worked a factory job building little like fan motors, right? She worked on the factory line building fan motors for something like 30 years. And you know, not the greatest job in the world, right? But it was a union job, and she put her time in, and she got a pension. So that when she retired from that job, she had a guaranteed paycheck coming in every single month for the rest of her life because she had a pension from that company. But I think it started to all fall apart when Enron blew up in the 90s. I think that was sort of the beginning of the end of any sort of like, you can trust the place you work, and you can trust that you have a future, and you can trust that the company's going to have your pension for you. Because Enron was that scandal where they took everybody's pension money and their 401k money, and it was a pyramid scheme. And all these people who had put all these decades into working for Enron just disappeared, and all their money was gone. And so all the time and money that they put in to those retirement funds, thinking that those were going to help them in their future years, that shit's gone. So these days I tell everybody I talk to, from 15-year-old kids up to people my age, don't trust anybody to take care of you ever. There's no such thing as job security. There's no such thing as job loyalty. The raise isn't worth the extra 2 hours they're going to ask you to do, because the first time you bend over and show that you're willing to work extra hours for no pay, you have shown that you are a weakling. You have shown that you were able to be pushed around and abused. If anybody ever asks you to go above and beyond the scope of what you've been paid to do, the answer to that question is, how much are you going to pay me to do that? What's my overtime? Are you paying me overtime? What's my bonus pay? Oh, you're not paying overtime and bonus pay? I'm not going to do it. Well, then we're going to fire you. That is not in my job description. There are labor laws in most countries around the world that protect you from that sort of things from happening. The problem is most people don't want to fight a company with the labor laws and stuff. Jules says unions don't exist where I'm from. They're not in every country, but labor laws do exist in most countries. Even here. So like when I met Chris, this is a good example because Chris actually had to do this. When I met Chris, she was a waitress. Like this, not even a waitress. She was a waitress slash hostess at this cafe, and she worked there for like 2 years, which was enough time to get unemployment and some other benefits. And then they laid a bunch of people. They laid like four. They fired like 4 people one day. Chris was one of the people that got fired. And when she got fired, she was supposed to get like, I think it was like 8 months of benefits, like 8 months of back pay, because the time she had worked on site, the laws here state that she was supposed to get a severance package, essentially. It was a severance package. So she was supposed to get a severance package for being laid off based on the amount of time she had worked there. And the job did not pay her a severance package. They were just like, nope, see you, bye. And they didn't want to pay the severance package. So Chris went to the local city government, said, hey, here's all the proof of my employment. They're not wanting to pay me my severance package. And the city government went, the fuck they aren't. They are required by law to pay the severance package. So the city government went to the owner of the cafe and said, we are shutting your business down entirely, and we are taking the money out of your bank account, and we are paying these 4 employees their severance packages. The government came in and took the money from the company. And so Chris got what she was owed. And most countries will have some type of labor laws to protect employees from that type of stuff happening, but you got to go fight for it. You got to ask for it. You can't be passive about it. You know, you have to stand up for yourself. It's different in every country. But never, ever work the extra hours if you're not being compensated. Never, ever, ever work those extra hours. Because you are just you're a cog in the wheel, man. The guy at the camp is selling bloodstones after the last expansion. Really? Which guy? It's not you. This guy? Haven't even seen this guy before.
Time flies with a hammer in your hand.
Yeah, hourly is the way to go. If you have the option between hourly and salary, always take hourly. Suzanak says I'm in a maintenance job, working customer service till I retire at 65, which is only 3 years away. I can leave my job at work. It's 40 hours, clock to work, and I'm done. Yeah, see that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing exciting about it, but there's nothing wrong with a job that's not exciting if it pays your bills and it gives you a pension until you can retire. The funny thing is like I get a lot of people like, "Aren't you retired, Renfail?" And it's like, not really. I could theoretically probably not work anymore and still be okay. But the reality is I'm 46. I'm not even assuming that Social Security is even still around. It's 18 years. I don't think I can draw Social Security until I'm 62 or 63 or something. Like I still have another 18 years of being in the workforce before I can actually retire and get some sort of so, you know, I could go do something else or I could sit here and do this. It's like this is not a it's I put in hours. I put in a lot of hours with this, but it's probably I don't want to say it's the easiest thing I've ever done, but it's up there. Because there's the mental shit. We have to deal with a lot of trolls and attacks and toxicity, and I get people who attack my wife all the time because she's Mexican, and we saw the trolls earlier. Like we have to deal with that on a daily basis. My eyesight, I had perfect vision my whole life, and then my eyesight has definitely been affected by sitting here for 12 to 14 hours a day staring at a monitor. I definitely have, like, I've got massive tendonitis in my left hand from WASD and just writing for all those years. I've got issues with my finger from mouse clicking and stuff. It's like anybody who's like a guitarist for years and years, they'll complain as they get older. The hands. You use your body parts, they all get used up. So there are downsides to doing any job for prolonged periods of time. But it's like I lose my voice once a week usually when we do long days. But it's like this beats any physical job I've ever done. And I've worked a lot of, I worked construction for years as a third generation contractor. And then I grew up on a dairy farm, shoveling cow shit and milking cows, castrating animals, dehorning cows, vaccinating cows, pulling calves in the middle of winter, breaking ice on the ponds. There's nothing like getting up at 3:30 in the morning to go out into the 90-acre field and bring up 60 herd of dairy cows so that you can milk them at 4:30 in the morning and then do it all again in the afternoon because you got to milk them twice a day. Sitting in an air-conditioned office playing video games. It's like any sort of job that you have where you could sit in an office, like customer service, as you were mentioning, that is... It might not be the most glamorous of jobs, but it pays the bills, and you get to sit in an air-conditioned office, which is a lot better than, like, being a trash guy or being a plumber. Or, you know what I mean? Like, working physical jobs, I feel can often is I will take an office job over a physical labor job any day of the week. Any day of the week, I will take an office job. Now. There might be office jobs where I'm only willing to put up with a shitty manager for a certain amount of time, but I'm telling you, air conditioning is a big deal to me. Like having air conditioning and being away from the elements is a big deal. But that's also because I worked in the elements for so many years. I worked in the heat, I worked in the cold. I froze my fingers off. I've sweated my ass off. So it's like any sort of job where you can work in an office, I'm like, that's a good job. Like, air conditioning is a big deal. I mean, for some people, yeah, White Wolf, like, work your 9 to 5, you get your weekends and nights free to yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because I tell you what, there's a chef I follow on TikTok. He is a Canadian chef. He's a big old chubby Italian guy, and I love his TikTok account. What is his name? He did a TikTok yesterday. I'm opening up my TikTok really quick, because I thought this is brilliant. I don't know if I saved it or not. Hang on, I'm going into my liked videos. Hang on. Massimo, I think is his name now that I'm thinking about it. I don't think I liked the video that he did last night, but I know I saw it. Anyway, he was talking about how he had somebody ask a question during one of his TikTok streams where because he owns a restaurant somewhere in Canada, and someone had asked, what are the chances of me as a young chef getting going of starting my own restaurant? And he did a nice expose on like why you should never start a restaurant. He's like, if you just love cooking, then you just need to be a chef and work for somebody else. You work your 9 to 5, you cook food, people love your food, you enjoy being a chef. That's what you should do. If you love cooking, then be a cook, be a chef. That's what you should do. Being the owner of your own restaurant is not the same thing as being a chef. He said, first and foremost, take the amount of money you're going to make as a chef, cut that in half, and maybe if you're lucky, that's what you're going to make as a business owner. You're going to make half of what you would make as a chef. On top of which, you then have all of the responsibilities of being the business owner. You're dealing with everybody's health care. You're dealing with everybody's life insurance and health insurance. You're dealing with sick employees who don't show up, or people who don't show up because they're flaky, and you've got to make up. You don't get to say, I need a day off. Like when you're the owner of the business, you don't get to say, I need a mental health day. Oh, guys, I'm not feeling good. I need to go home because my mental health. Like, and I'm using a mocking voice because there are people who legitimately abuse the mental health day system. Like, when you're a business owner, you don't get to take a mental health day. You don't get to take a sick day. You don't get to have an emergency. You don't get to, when you're the business owner, you have legal obligations to keep the business running, to pay everybody's health care, to pay everybody's, you got to keep inventory going, you got to keep rent or the lease paid, you got to keep the lights on, you got to keep all the, like, yeah, there's a big difference between owning your own restaurant and just, I like to cook food, I want to be a chef. So if you love cooking food and you want to be a chef, but do that. But owning the restaurant, you're not just the chef, you're doing 25, 30 different jobs. You're making a fraction of the money everybody else makes. And if you're extremely lucky, and luck is a huge part of it, if you're extremely lucky, your business will be successful enough that you can keep 5, 10 employees happily employed and still manage to take home money at the end of the month and maybe build yourself a successful business and maybe make a little bit of extra money on the side. That's what being a business owner is all about. And not everybody is cut out to be a business owner because it does require a different sort of mental fortitude. I remember when I was doing the game studio, there was I made a comment one time about people like to complain about what's the terminology they use? Crunch hours. A lot of people like to complain about crunch in the game dev industry, and I'm like, that's called overtime, right? Every business in the planet has overtime, and people get paid handsomely to work overtime. Now, when you have excessive crunch, That's a sign of bad management because somebody in management doesn't know how to do project management. They don't know how to do scheduling, right? That's an issue. Or there's oversight, there's over creep on features, things of that nature. All that points to bad management if there is excessive crunch. But the reality is that everybody works overtime, right? That's just part of every industry. Overtime is necessary from time to time, and people are compensated when they work overtime. They are compensated for crunch. Time and a half, double pay, holiday pay, things of that nature. But I did an interview one time where we talked about crunch, and I remember the reaction was very negative because we had a bunch of what I call clock punchers, and I was being very derogative when I said it because I was definitely reacting to people being idiots about it. See you, Susan. Have a good day at work. That shows the see, Sean. You don't know what you're talking about. Sean just said getting paid less than the cook is a sign that the business is not doing well. Oh, honey, you've never ran a business, and it shows. When you're first getting your business off the ground, you ain't making any money, sister. You're not making any money, sweetheart, when you're first getting a business going. It takes time and dedication to get the business to the point where it's successful enough where you yourself get to have a profit. It's not something that you just automatically do. It takes time. Sure you do. Put your links in our Discord. Put your links in our Discord, Sean. I'm challenging you to put your money where your mouth is. You say your family has had a food restaurant for 55 years. Let's see it. Get the links in our Discord. Let's see the successful food business your family has. Kip Bank says when you first start a business, you're going to be in debt for 3 to 5 years. Oh, you don't want to get people calling? That's because you don't actually have a successful business. So, yeah. If you can't put your money where your mouth is, then you're not who you say you are. When you're first starting a business, you're going to be in debt and or putting sweat equity in your business. Now, after the business has been out for 5 or 6 years, if you're doing good business, that's when you can start making money. But the problem is, and like what Massimo was saying, is that during the early stages of any business, you're not going to make any money. Like you're going to be in debt and or sweat equity to build the business into something. So that aspect is just fact, any new business. Going back to the sweat equity thing, though, the interview I was doing a few years back, talking about crunch, we were talking about how as a business owner, crunch is an everyday part of existence. Like you don't ever get to have a day off ever as a business owner. If you are the business owner, even if you have a successful business, you are always making sure that the lights are on, that your legal obligations are met, that the employees are getting paid, that the expansion of the business is going where it needs to be, that you aren't going under because of various reasons. You're dealing with the economic ups and downs of whatever industry you're working in. And when I hear people cry about crunch or overtime, I always am like, that's the clock puncher mentality, because only the person who punches the clock gets to complain about excessive overtime. Because as a business owner, you don't get to have time off. If someone calls in sick, you're responsible for that. The bank still wants their payments, even if someone calls in sick. Someone had a baby and they need maternity leave. You as the business owner have to make up for that because the bank doesn't give a shit. The market doesn't care. The lenders don't care. The industry doesn't care. No one cares that your employees need time off, right? No one cares about their mental health days. No one cares about maternity leave. Somebody's cat died, their grandmother died, their mom or dad died, they need bereavement time. No one cares about those things when you're the business owner. What matters is the legal obligations you have to keep the business running. So I really liked Massimo's take on if you're a new chef getting going and you think that you're going to somehow become this Gordon Ramsay and you're going to magically become this celebrity chef, I got news for you. Customers don't give a shit. Customers don't give a shit. Beauty Smith says, restaurant owner of 10 years. Sometimes you lose money, not make it. Also, no days off in 10 years. Exactly. Jules says, my mom was at a restaurant for 30 years. Doesn't own it, but her cousin does. It's hard work. Yep. No, Pax. I don't. And fuck you for putting your Discord link in my chat. You're banned. Fuck off. No self-promotion. Number one rule of my Twitch streams. Kick streams, Instagram streams, whatever. All the streams. We're live everywhere. Customers don't care. That's true. Yeah, the weight and stress is there even if you take a day off. Correct. So yeah, as a business owner, you're getting sidetracked there. There is no... You don't get to take time off. All right, somebody said he sells bloodstones. There they are. Oh, he also sells iron. Well, I'm buying all your iron ore, dude.
Was this what you needed?
Yeah, buddy, it was.
Use it well.
Excuse me.
If there's any... Hey, if you're in a bind, you know where to find me.
You know where to find me.
You've found the finest blacksmith in Piewell.
I don't know what I want to equip here. I should probably just keep putting points into my Sword of the Wolf. I like the other sword, but it's going to take bloodstones, and I don't want to just upgrade it just because it looks cool. So I think we're going to stick with our Sword of the Wolf for now. Can I also do... what do I need for the shield? I need another Abyss artifact. Well, that shouldn't be too hard to get a hold of, and then I can get my shield.
Come see me.
I can get my shield to rank 6 as well, which I need to do.
You need something repaired.
Hello.
Something else I will also say on a closing note, because someone said in chat they were claiming their family has had a business for 55 years. They don't want to put links in chat, whatever. And saying something along the lines of if you're not making more money than your cook, then you're not successful at business. I can also say, as someone who spent my entire life prior to any of this stuff working in construction as a third generation contractor, my grandfather, my dad, his two brothers, myself, especially the family. I think the last time anybody ever looked at the numbers, they had done somewhere along the lines of over $1 billion worth of projects across the United States. From commercial projects to individual projects. We worked on hospitals, airports, Safeway grocery stores, Walmarts, McDonald's, lots of individual residential projects and stuff. And I can tell you that any industry, from that industry to any of the industries I've worked in since then, does this. You might make a boatload of money one year, but you might not make any money the next year. And I think it's definitely true that if you are successful, You can make more money than the employees working for you, but there's also so many different ways to be successful that don't relate to whether or not you're taking home a huge paycheck. Because you as the business owner might be deciding to reinvest all that money back into opening up new locations, hiring more employees, expanding the business, buying new company trucks, opening up a new location, buying real estate. There are so many different ways to be successful that don't have anything to do with taking home a bigger paycheck than the people working for you. The point of the conversation we were having, by the way, is that when you're first getting going, because Massimo's discussion was about new people in the industry, you're not going to be making any money. But I think the commentary about you're not successful if you're not making lots of money, that's not fundamentally... You're not successful if you're not making more money than your employees. Fundamentally, I think that ties into a lot of the capitalist mentality that some people have about how you should be running a business. But man, there are so many ways that you can run a business that have nothing to do with what your take-home pay is. Right. Look at what's happening right now in the world. Not to get political, but there are wars happening all over the place. Inflation is going crazy. There is no business that is not impacted by that right now. And I think the mentality of you're going to be successful all the time just because you own a business, and if you're not successful, then if you're not making lots of money, you're not successful. Like, there are so many things that could go wrong with the world, and that can go wrong with the market that you're in, that can cause your business to not be successful this year versus last year. And I would expect someone who's been in business for 55 years, assuming that's something that's actually legit, you know. I don't know. Blanket statements are dangerous. Context is key.
Always a pleasure to cross paths with you.
What time is it, by the way? I need to check in with my wife. Firewater says, I have a teenage daughter who's a senior in high school. I've been giving real thought to what industries won't be as seriously affected by AI. She loves theater managed. I guess it's fairly safe. Something that my brother is doing with his kids, Firewater. My nephew's like 12, 13. My niece is 7 or 8. They have a cattle ranch. So they have their own... they all have their own animals that they've been putting money into since they were kids. So they already have their own investment portfolio in that sense. And they're not even teenagers yet. And they already have tens of thousands of dollars of net worth in terms of the animals that they have at their disposal already. But one of the things my brother and I have both been doing in terms of teaching them, more my brother than I, but I am allowed to be a part of that conversation from time to time, and I appreciate that, being able to provide insight. Because I never finished high school and I never went to college. And my brother didn't finish college. He's a college dropout. He is a multimillionaire.
Good day to you.
My sister-in-law went to college. But we have been, and they and I to a smaller degree, I don't want to take credit for what they're doing. Educating those kids that school is not the only way to be successful. And taking on a bunch of debt or doing things the way that the system tells you should do things is not the only way to do things. There is a great value in learning business management from a small age, and more importantly, business management and financial management, because they don't teach financial management in school. So teaching kids how to be good with money, how to manage a business, how to invest from a young age. It's work ethic, I think, is important, but more important is thinking outside of the box and being able to dictate the terms and not have the terms dictated to you. So yeah, it's food for thought. But I like seeing those kids. Yeah, managing budgeting your paycheck is the best skill you can learn. I think the only thing they ever taught me in school was how to balance a checkbook. That's it. They taught me basic accounting, how to do a debit and a credit, but no one ever taught me about like money management. Don't get a credit card. Learn how to live within your means. If you can't pay cash for it, you don't really need it. Now, obviously, there are emergency scenarios, but let me check in with Chris, guys, before I decide if we're going any further today, because I know we need to go to the grocery store, and I need to check in with her to see what she is doing in her schedule, because it's 7:30 in the morning here. So let me check in with my wife really quick.
Perfect day for hunting.
All right. I am, in fact, going to go to the grocery store, kids. It is that time of the morning where I need to go run some errands. We will be back today, later on, for some Starfield. We are going to be continuing our prep for the launch of Starfield on the PS5 here in a week, because it goes live on April 7th, which is next Tuesday. And in the meantime, we are doing our Daily Tips series. We started with today's video, which already went live this morning. We'll be doing a video every single day doing starter tips for players coming to the PS5. And we're going to be doing some Starfield streaming this afternoon to be answering more questions and covering more juicy details from my trip to Bethesda Game Studios to learn more about the Terran Armada DLC and the Free Lanes update that's coming to Starfield for everyone on April 7th. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back later today, probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time, 1 or 2 p.m.-ish. I'm going to go run errands, come back, take a nap, and come back with some Mo videos. Don't forget to follow along at YouTube, because everything in between the streams happens there, including, everybody's been asking me if I was watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
You ready?
Chris and I watched the first 3 episodes last night. I am going to record a video about that today, and I also... I am like 3 days behind getting my update up for the season finale of Starfield, or Starfleet Academy. Star Trek Starfleet Academy. There's all sorts of star stuff happening on YouTube, so stay tuned. Hang out, have fun, love each other. Don't be dicks, don't be racists, don't be homophobes, don't be transphobes. Have fun playing video games, enjoy your TV shows, enjoy your books. I'll see everybody on YouTube. Don't forget the socials, the Discord, the Patreon, the merch store, the Amazon's link, and of course the Homestead channel. And I'll see everybody later today for some Starfield.